Hello, Blue Fleet. Are we here? Are we good? I think we're good. Let me just close a couple of things off real quick. Hi. Hi. I think everything should be working again properly this time. Welcome to Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. We streamed about 20 minutes of the Galactic Turnabout yesterday. I've deleted the VOD because my internet basically completely crashed out, and there was no point trying to salvage that. There's no point trying to salvage that VOD, so it's no, let's just restart from the start of the case, crack on, and hopefully the internet won't die today. I'm not exactly hopeful. I mean, I do obviously hope that things pan out a bit better, but we'll see how we go. If the internet does crash out again, then I'm going to have a word with my ISP, but I'm hopeful it was just ISP issues, because I had a quick check on Down Detector after everything went wrong and after I called it and just said, now let's cancel tonight. And it looks like there was a spike with my ISP sort of around 6 yesterday, which is concurrent with what happened to me. So I'm really hoping it was just that. But anyway, let's crack on. As I say, we're ignoring this. We're going in here. So we're starting the episode afresh because there's no VOD anymore. We'll have lost a bunch of context. So, let's go. Alrighty. The courtroom bombing incident. A terrible attack launched by the will of a madman. That incident perfectly symbolized the state of the legal world in this dark age of the law. Mr. Wright brought it to a resolution. Of sorts. Ted Tanati was discovered to be the one responsible for the bombing. If only it were that simple. Somehow, I can't help but think that there's a darker influence at work. One that's lurking in the shadows, waiting. That's why I want to review the trial that was taking place when the bombing occurred. After all, I've got more than a few personal stakes in it. Steak. Episode 4, The Cosmic Turnabout. Okay.
One hour remaining until launch. Please begin your final equipment check.
Okay.
Check complete. Everything's A-okay.
Getting ready to take off the
We're ready
rocket.
here whenever you are.
What happened? Someone set up us the bomb. We get signal. What?
Come in at 2. Come in. Do you copy?
Main screen turn on. It's you. How are you, gentlemen? All your base are belong to us. You are on the way to destruction. What do you say? You have no chance to survive. Make your time. Ha ha ha. This serious moment where someone's just been murdered and I'm just making light of it. Oh, God. Hiya. Okay. Okay. December the 16th, 9:12 AM. District Court. Defendant Lobby number 5. Hey, Hades, welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see you. Time for another trial to begin. But this one is different. Sorry to bother you, but I did stream yesterday, yeah. I did stream yesterday, but my internet crashed out really badly for about half an hour. And, it destroyed the stream. And by the time my internet came back online, it was like, you know what? I've got a splitting headache now. Let's just not bother. Let's just do a longer one today. And kind of catch the time up a bit. So it was unfortunate. I was streaming at my normal time, but it just the ISP just died at 20 past. So what we're going to try and do is trial day 1, and I think I've had a look at the structure of the case to get a feel for it. So I think we can do trial day 1 and investigation day 1, and then the other part we can probably do in its own stream another time. I had a look at the rough time estimates as well, so I think we can do that. You're right, Apollo. Oh, was I making a scary face just now? Oh, hi, Juniper. Yeah, I'm fine. I was just doing my Calls of Steel exercises. No, I'm all ready to go. Yeah, knowing you, I'm sure you'll be just fine. Oh, I brought you a present from my garden. Is this a lotus root? That's right. My grandma says lotus root is good for your eyes. She even says that if you look through the holes, it can help you see into the future. Works out for you as well. Yeah, exactly. We got to look at the plus sides, right? It's good for luck. Maybe later you can cook it and... Thanks for this. I'm going to have some right now. Yesterday you were eating burgers. Oh, nice. Nice. We're having burgers tomorrow. Kind of tough, though. Oh, you can't eat it raw, but... Thank you for the enthusiastic try. See, I think there's something that she wants Apollo to eat raw. Until she kind of looks somewhat similar to the knitting that she's doing. If you know what I'm saying, chat. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oops. She didn't think me weird before. She will now. I've got to calm down. Apollo! Sorry I'm late. Hi, Athena. Oh, Junie. I didn't know you were coming today. Did you come to cheer Apollo on? Oh, I get it, you sly little thing, you. Athena, stop. Quit kidding around, Athena. The trial's about to start any second. Is everything all set? Oh, Apollo, when will you ever figure it out? Figure out what? Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. This is it. It's all over for me. They're gonna find me guilty. Oh. Junior Apollo moment, you know it. This is our client, one Mr. Solomon Sol Starbuck. He's a very famous astronaut who happens to be an acquaintance of mine. You wouldn't know it right now, but he's usually a very upbeat and driven person. I've just noticed, I didn't pick up on this yesterday when we tried this case. He actually kind of looks like Larry. He's got the same facial structure. He's got the same, like, long face and chin. The scene of the crime this time happened to be the Cosmos Space Center. Back in high school, my best friend and I went there almost a little too much. But that's where we met Mr. Starbuck. We'd ask about space travel and he'd launch into story after story with so much passion. Back in those days, the man was 100% my hero. Are you sure you're okay with being my lawyer, Apollo? Of course I'm sure. I know you, Mr. Starbuck. I know you're not the type to commit murder. Thanks, but, I was supposed to be in space right about now. Bit of Apollo backstory, yeah. It's neat. Oh, he's gooning. Okay. He's so depressed, it almost seems like an act. The launch getting called off must have been a huge shock. I'll probably never get the chance to go into space again. He's very professional about that compared to Wright, yes. Definitely. Don't say that. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that fee-ling. Streetlights. People. Earl. Besides, you just have to go into space again. Yeah. I don't think I could face Clay in the afterlife just as rotted away in a cell. Clay Terran. I can't believe he was murdered. I mean, he was such a promising astronaut under your command. Yeah, he was a good guy. Always there to pick me up when I was down. No one loved life as much as him, that's for sure. He was always so full of energy, telling me, "You're fine, Mr. Starbuck." How could something like this happen to a guy like him, huh? I've never seen Mr. Starbuck so down. Clay's gone and I'm going to prison. Oh, I wish I could burn up like a shooting star right now. Mr. Starbuck, you'll be fine. Ah! What is it? What's with the yelling? I'll get to the bottom of this today, you'll see. And in exchange, I want you to go back into space for you and Clay. Promise? Does that mean you have lots of evidence to prove me innocence? Oh, well, about that. Yeah. We didn't get to investigate the area as much as we'd have liked, thanks to the police. Oh, I'm done for. Oh my god. Oh, I can actually skip this text because I've seen it before. Interesting. Okay. Everybody thinks I did it. Though, I was going to soar like a comet, but I'm just going to crash like a meteorite. No, don't say that, Mr. Starbuck. Don't count yourself out yet. I know it's hard to lose a teammate, but you got to keep going. What about you, Apollo? What about me? I was just thinking, wasn't Clay your best friend? We need to focus on the trial right now. You ready to go? Apollo. The trial's about to begin. If the defense will please proceed into the courtroom. Alright, here we go. This is it. This is one trial I can't afford to lose. For Clay's sake and our clients, I will find Clay's killer. Right, we're going to save a bit more frequently tonight. Just on the off chance that, like, I'm keeping a really close eye on my dropped frames. I tell you something really weird. Because OBS crashed out so completely, it deleted my custom browser docs. It didn't retain them. I've never seen that before. Not once. Day 1. Court is now in session. All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Solomon Starbuck. The trial of Solomon Scum, I should say. Ha 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 ha. Quite the tech issue. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened, man. It just, like, I was like, where's my YouTube chat? Hold on, where's all my Twitch docs? So I had to reset, like, all my custom docs. Before I came live, I was like, oh, God, no. I mean, it could have been worse. Setting up OBS from scratch is absolute pain pecco, but it is what it is. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Excuse me, Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor? What happened to your eye? I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Are you sure? I don't... Can't you back up or save custom docs? You can save some of them. Custom browser docs, you normally retain them in OBS, but they're actually very easy to set back up when they vanish, so it's not really a big problem. But you can kind of save them. It's a bit roundabout in how you have to do it, but it's all fixed anyway, so that's like the main thing. Are you sure? I don't... I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's been like this since yesterday. He keeps insisting it's just a stay. I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss. Maybe he's entering a touchy age. The judge accuses us of being a toonie. Oh, God. Vanishment this world. Beautiful. Very well. And the prosecution? The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence.
Yes, Daddy. That was early. Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet. Ah! Oh, he's broken the chains immediately. The prosecution is now ready. Well, it didn't take him long this time. What's up with Blackquill? Now then, I should give the opening statement.
Silence.
Yes, Daddy. I'll do it. You will? What an unexpected surprise. This time, I can't leave it to anyone else. I see. Something is off with the two of you today. Yeah, they're both acting odd. You both seem different somehow. Yeah, they're both being a bit weird. Very well, Prosecutor Blackquill. Your opening statement, if you would. It was just yesterday. The crimes in question occurred at the Cosmos Space Center. Ah, that famous federal research facility of all things related to astrology, right? Astronomy. It's astronomy, anyway. A rocket was set to launch from there. But at 9:28 a.m., before they could even move the rocket into the launch site, someone set up the bomb. 2 explosive devices were detonated, and the launch was cancelled. My word, 2 bombs! How dreadful! My bombs? My bombs? The defendant in today's trial is charged with both the bombing and with murder. One Mr. Solomon Starbuck. A Zero Wing remake. I saw it's on Steam. It's on offer right now. And I'll be honest, I am very tempted to play it. I mean, Zero Wing is actually surprisingly decent. Like, it's not exceptional, but it's not terrible. It's just like a very standard R-Type clone. But it's very playable. You know, it's pretty fun. You know, R-Type clones are fun. I tell you something I would love to play in that same vein, actually. My grandparents used to have an arcade cabinet of this in a hotel they used to run. You ever heard of Dragon Breed? You ever heard of a game called Dragon Breed? I would love to stream Dragon Breed. Like, it's a side-scrolling shooter, and you're a guy who's riding on top of a dragon, and the guy can be killed, but the dragon can't, so you gotta, like, move the dragon's body to block enemy shots and, like, kill enemies and stuff like that whilst protecting your guy. It's really neat. For whatever inane reason, he detonated a bomb on the rocket he himself would be in. Solomon Starbuck, I recognize that name. Isn't he that famous astronaut? Correct your boldness. Mr. Starbuck was the pilot of the Hat-1 rocket 7 years ago. As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success. Some say it was a miracle he returned alive. I suppose you could say he's a living legend. Oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right? They even turned that incident into a movie and everything. We've got a real space pioneer in court today. But even heroes tumble from their lofty heights. Returning to the subject at hand. Ah, yes, the victim was one Mr. Clayton, subordinate to the defendant. Indeed, a loyal disciple brutally stabbed to death by his mentor. Stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death wasn't a result of the bombing? Correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen as an interloper by the defendant. And so he was sent not into space, but to the universe which we mortals cannot see. Clay. I think I've heard enough. The case seems pretty clear-cut at this point. However, there's one thing I'm curious about. That metal box next to the witness stand. Metal box? Metal box? Rhinos. Rhinos! Our enemies hide in metal boxes. The cowards, the fools. We should take away the metal boxes. Excuse me. What purpose does it serve exactly? Since you asked so nicely, it's your coffin. You missed the reference. Oh, it's Faravius Karen from Warhammer 40k Dawn of War 2. I think it's the first DLC. It's if you look up Metal Boxes 40k on YouTube, you'll get the scene. Ah, have mercy on me. I jest. It's evidence. Due to its immense size, we've little choice but to lay it where it rests now. We shall get to the contents of the box in due time. There's a corpse in there. Whew. I feel like I just lost 50 years off my life. Does he even have 50 years left? Inner monologue, Athena. Inner monologue. Enough jabbering. This is the point the stream died yesterday, by the way. Bobby Fulbright's the name, in Justice We Trust. Ah, Detective Fulbright. Very well then. Please explain the details of this incident to the court, if you would. On it, first, take a look at this pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Center. In it, you'll find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. Okay. Ah, here we are. For a more detailed look at what's on the left side of the building. Take a look at this cross-section that we, the police, have created. See the launch pad in the main building? The launch pad is the square building, and the rounded structure is the main building, right? Oh, I got the voice wrong there, didn't I? Was that the judge? Yes, I gave the judge the wrong voice. Whoops. You got it. The incident took place in the launch pad 1 and in the main building's lounge. I'll be using this diagram during my testimony and make it easier to understand. Okay. Interesting. Alright. Details of the case. Just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom! Boom! One on the second floor of the Space Center's main building, and one in Launch Pad 1. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in Launch Pad 1 at the time. The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. But after the escape, one of the 2 was found stabbed to death. Okay. A murder on top of a bombing. Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at the lounge, correct? Yep. Thinking he'd sabotage the bomb, the defendant killed him right there in the rocket. Just look at this tragic photo. Oh dear. Oh my, is that a knife in the victim's chest? Yes, Your Honor. Here's the knife that cruelly ended this young man's dreams. We couldn't get any prints off it, though, because the defendant was in his spacesuit. Okay. No fingerprints. That probably is going to be relevant later. By the way, Detective Fulbright, why are the victim's helmets and right glove absent in this photograph? We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor. I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all. Did you? Yes, it would be very difficult to identify him without the facial fingerprints. Now, there's just one more thing I'd like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in this photo? Something so important to the victim, he took it with him as he escaped the launch pad. A capsule that apparently contains asteroid samples. While obviously valuable for research purposes, it has no relation to this case. I see. So, we know that the bomb in the main building was on the second floor. But where was the bomb that was in the launch pad 1 located? Huh, that one was on the rocket itself. It was situated around the central part of the rocket. Apparently the area around the launch pad's elevator was a sea of flames. I'd like to submit this diagram report into the record. Okay. Kaboom. Interesting. Interesting. The trial's just started and we're already in a bind. You get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination's for, right? What the 2 astronauts were doing during the bombing. That'll be the key. Okay. Let's have a quick look at the evidence then. And let's also save there, like the scummy bastard we are. Okay, there we go. So, cause of death stabbing was discovered in the 3rd floor boarding lounge in the main building. Okay. Cross section. So he's found there. The bombing was here. Okay. No fingerprints. The explosion sparked a fire on the 2nd floor of the main building and the middle level of the launch pad near the elevator. Okay.
Hold it!
Hold it! How powerful were the explosions? Well, the one in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down. But the room it went off in was burned black. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping up to lead the evacuation. Wait, what were you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright? Ah, Bobby Fulbright, hero of justice. I'll be there wherever and whenever people need my help. That's kind of weird. I'd go to the other side of the world, or even the edge of the universe. I'm not sure he knows how far that actually is. But I guess I'll leave that one alone. Admirable decision, Justice Dono. Huh? What did he decide? Justice Dono. Why is Blackquill calling him that? That's already very strange. He only calls the defense and people he respects Dono. Normally he's insulting. What gives? What's a dono? So dono is an honorific. So you know, like in Japanese, you have chan for people younger than you or people who are close friends and relations. And you've got San, which is basically like Mr. or Mrs. Dono is like Sir. You know, if you call someone, say, Justice Dono, he's calling him, you know, Mr. Justice, but it is implied to be respectful. So that's kind of where that comes from. And the fact that he is applying that term to Bobby Fulbright, who he normally insults with a nickname, is weird. Hi, by the way, Cyber. We're back. Yeah, this time my internet hasn't shat the bed yet. So we'll see how we go. Anyway, could you describe what it was like at the Space Center at that time? The bomb cut the power to the central bank of elevators in the third floor lounge. It was pitch black in there, I tell you. However, the security cameras and whatnot were running an emergency backup. And how did the evacuation go? I immediately and heroically whisked people down to the Space Center's basement shelter. The Space Center's basement shelter. The basement shelter? Yeah, there's an emergency shelter beneath the Space Center. An emergency shelter, huh? Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom of the diagram. Okay. The Space Center is pretty impressive to have its own shelter. Okay. The bombs went off despite tight security. Police officers and riot police who'd been standing by gave the evacuation instructions. The power outage and evacuation seem unrelated to the murder at this point. I guess I'll leave that aside for now. So there were 2 explosions in total, correct? Let's have a quick look at this. Police officers and riot police gave evacuation instructions immediately. There was a power outage, the affected areas remained dark. Security systems switched over to emergency power and continued to work. Evacuees moved to the basement shelter. So if the security cameras are on, surely they've seen what happened. Yep, that's right. Okay.
Hold it!
Hold it! Let me get this straight. Mr. Starbuck rigged the rocket he was going to board with explosives. Huh? What are you talking about? If the defendant really did plant the bomb in his own rocket, he'd get caught in the explosion as well. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Fine. A simpleton for a simpleton. Fulbright, the motive. Understood. The defendant actually had astrophobia. Astrophobia? What's that? A fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted to freeze up. And so, in his terror, the defendant found a way to stop the launch at the last minute. That's absurd. Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these. What are they? These are anti-anxiety tablets we found among the defendant's possessions. Apparently he was taking them in secret to quell his fears. There were a multitude of problems with the rocket Mr. Starbuck rode 7 years ago. Rumour has it threatened to crash a number of times as well. That was, of course, very traumatic for Mr. Starbuck.
Objection!
He said the thing. But that doesn't mean he'd go so far as to blow up his own ship.
Silence!
Yes, Daddy. The defendant couldn't bear to mar his good name now, could he? No, not after the media had branded him Sol Starbuck, space pioneer extraordinaire. Don't you think he looks kind of like Kaiji? He looks kind of like Kaiji Ultimate Survivor. Sour. Sour, sour. Sour, sour, sour. Oh, that would be an idea for... That would be an idea for a redeem on TITS, or... could I make a Zawa Zawa? Like, that's a really niche reference, but Kaiji is baller, so I'm really tempted to do that. I'm gonna see if I can do that. I'm gonna see if I can, like, work out how to do that. It's kind of like menacing, but, you know, Zawa Zawa is like the sound of whispering when people whisper behind your back. Zawa Zawa, Zawa Zawa. Also, if you haven't seen Kaiji, go watch it. It's really good. Really fucking good. Given these conditions, the defendant could hardly run away like some base mutt. What, so that's what you think he's resorted to the bombing? Naturally, he constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the Space Center, which would effectively abort the launch but spare his reputation. Now I'm sure you understand why we have to bring justice down on this atrocious criminal. Okay.
Hold it!
Are you sure it was only the 2 of them? It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those 2. This is a shaky motive. It's a very shaky motive, yeah. Ugh, well, there could have been someone else inside that rocket.
Silence.
Yes, Daddy. The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state up front that there are precious few with the clearance to do so. A fingerprint recognition device? It sounds futuristic and complex as a space center. Not sure that would be considered a solid enough motive for a real court. So, if the argument is that he's attempting to abort the launch, he's committed an act of terror to do so, which is what this would count. In UK law, this would count as an act of terror, I think. And regardless of why he was doing it, he's still, I think that if he's got PTSD and he doesn't want to go up into space, you could argue that reasonably, but at the same time, why would he still be an astronaut 7 years after the fact? Yeah, he's got a reputation to preserve, but he could have just retired honorably. So it isn't a very solid one. It's passable, but it's a point where it doesn't really feel like it would stick. Actually, it's not as amazing as you think, Your Honor. Take a look at this photo. This is the door in the lounge with the fingerprint lock. Only personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through. I see. That is very different from what I had in mind. And is there a record of the number of people that passed through that door yesterday? Yep, there were only 3. The defendant, the victim, and the director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmos. Then doesn't that mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it? Yuri Cosmos. Yuri Cosmos. The universe of girls' love novels. Okay, I mean, if there's any sapphics in the audience, you guys are eating very well today, apparently, because Yuri Cosmos is here to sate your needs. I mean, to be fair, the VTuber sphere and a lot of my friends fall within kind of the sort of Venn diagram of Ace Attorney fans who are sapphics. So, there's enough crossover. Oh, Shinsu-san, are you going to drink from my Milky Way? Jesus Christ. Maybe if you buy me some fried chicken. I'm very easy. Then doesn't that mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it? Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bombs exploded at 9:28. It's a reference to Yuri Gagarin. Yes. Yeah. So it's Yuri Gagarin who it's a reference to. But I see the word Yuri and I'm so brain-rotted by being a VTuber that I just think about, girls love stuff. So it is what it is. But yeah, I also think about Yuri from Red Alert. The one who speaks like this, Comrade General. Okay, let's crack on. Doing his job directing the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts. He has a point. I guess the director can't be considered a suspect, though. Okay. So we got some more evidence. You have kind of the same problem about Yuri, so fair enough. Yeah.
Hold it.
Okay. So, while it appeared that the pair barely escaped with their lives, in actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle the prosecution wants to push, correct? You got it! In fact, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time. If the victim had been alive, he would have been for sure trying to stop the bombing. Okay. Is there any chance Mr. Terran could have been killed before he boarded the rocket? They were both alive and well at boarding time, and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hopes and dreams of space. And then both of their hopes and dreams were dashed. If I may continue my explanation, after the evacuation order were given, the defendant made his escape, carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue. Okay.
Hold it.
Okay. And who was the first to find the victim? Actually, there were 2 of them. The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, And detective can disarm. Oh. One of them was a detective. Yep, Detective Arm specializes in bombs, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim along with the defendant. 2 witnesses, huh? And one of them is a detective. I doubt either would have anything to say that would help me. I think that pretty much covers the details of the case. Only the victim and defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. If this is the truth, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime. What little I could get out of him only hurt my case. Justice Dono, foolish is the warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is an essential element of battle, so I advise you to take a gander at this. What is it? Footage from a security camera, as the 2 astronauts emerge from the bowels of Launchpad 1 corridor. The boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape. Now, I would direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering, which you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim. What? Okay. Order! Order, I say! This lines up exactly what the prosecution has been asserting! I should have known Blackquill would have something like this ready. Okay. Apollo. Let me just have a quick look at something a moment. Hold on. Okay. Something about this feels wrong. Something about this feels very wrong. So let's just have a look at that footage just a second, right? So, shouldering the victim. That's open. He's carrying the asteroid samples. And there's either 05 or 50 on the rebreather. That's an oxygen tank. So there's a 50 on there. Whether that means the oxygen level or not, that could be an identification number. We need more context. How exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone in that footage? Ah, I see what you mean. Whether Clay was still alive at that point is pretty crucial. Your Honor, please take another look at the footage. Isn't it possible that Mr. Terran was still alive here and that Mr. Starbuck was helping him? Why, I believe you're right. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence.
Yes, Daddy. Perhaps that's what it looks like to a one-eyed hothead and a dotard. But it only makes sense if it's the victim's dead body. What do you mean? Fulbright, explain it to Justice Dono. You got it. Ready, kid? If the murder had occurred in the lounge, someone could have spotted it. Anyone can enter the lounge, after all. But doing it while they were alone in the spaceship? That's a horse of a different color.
Objection!
Oh, okay. But you can't deny there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. All that video shows is a man helping his fellow astronaut.
Silence.
Yes, Daddy. Your assertion is based on emotion. It's based on your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely help his own disciple. But you have no logical explanation as to why the victim could still be alive. Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic. But it sounds perfectly logical to me. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further objections... I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close. Objections? Well, Hold
it!
Oh, Athena's stepping in. Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup. Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need. What is it, Athena? It's just... there's something that's been bothering me. If it isn't the defense stalling for time, as always. Very well. I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time. Yes. You have 5 seconds. He's such a dick. He's such a dick and I love it. 5 seconds? After that, I declare this cross-examination to be closed and a verdict to be rendered. Your boldness, raise your gavel high. It's time for a countdown. Oh! Ready? We don't have time. Spit it out, Athena. Only 3 more seconds. Ah! Look, I don't think the prosecution's explanation is very complete. Meaning? Meaning there's something missing. Like, they conveniently left it unexplained. Something they didn't explain. Something they didn't explain. Ah! You're right. I think I know what you're talking about. Your 5 seconds are up, Mr. Justice. Is there anything about the prosecution's argument you'd like to rebut? Yes, Your Honor. Actually, there is. There's something the prosecution has yet to make clear to this court. Well, if you put it that way. What is it that the prosecution has failed to explain? Why the body was moved. I'm still gonna save there, but we haven't had an explanation as to why the body was moved, have we? They've told us what they think the motive was. They've told us what they think the motive was. Wait, did they? Oh, I'm gaslighting myself now. They told us what the motive for the bombing was, but the motive for the murder itself... Did they tell us that? Let's go for why the body was moved. They failed to explain why Mr. Starbuck would bother bringing the body back at all. If the defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't he just leave his body in the rocket? Why go through the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge? Oh, that's true. I don't think we've heard the prosecution's thoughts on that yet. That's because they have none, Your Honor. After all, how does one explain something so illogical? The prosecution is claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body. But what if the entire premise of that argument is wrong? Then let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice. The defense proposes that the defendant didn't kill the victim. He was helping him. Ah! Fulbright, explain it for our sad friend here before I nod off to his monotone monologue. Inform him exactly why Spaceboy moved the victim. Huh? They've got to be joking. It's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to direct suspicion away from himself. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner. That's why he made sure to make it to the security camera so there'd be a record. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man. Ah. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship. The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs easily over 200 pounds. Saving the life of a partner who weighs as much while trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sub-story fit for the silver screen. Indeed, I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story. You see, the true ending is that all traces of his hammy act were meant to be blown up. Yes, and now we arrive at the thrilling conclusion. The third explosion.
Objection!
Third explosion? What are you talking about? There was no third explosion.
Silence.
Yes, Daddy. Indeed, you're correct. But that is thanks to Detective Arm. It was she who identified and secured the bomb. However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. The steel coffin beside the witness stand, that would be a bomb transport case. We used that to transport the deactivated bomb here. It was found in the lounge. A bomb in the form of a most distasteful toy. Oh, that fucking thing. What? One on the second floor of the main building, one on the launch pad, and one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 firework displays. Fortunately, the third was discovered before it could be detonated, for had it not, the victim's body and other vital evidence would surely have been immolated.
Objection!
Is the person being carried Terran or Starbuck? What if one of them is neither? What if one of them is neither? Before you utter a word, know that the evidence supports me. Ugh. It's like he's reading my mind. As it is still undergoing forensic investigation, I do not have the evidence on hand. However, know that a peculiar item was found in one of Mr. Starbuck's pockets. Was it a ring? Specifically, a bomb detonation switch. You found what? Okay, that's not great. I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy such damning evidence when the Space Center Director and Detective Arm stumbled across the murder, so he thought to hide it in his pocket. Feeble-brained that he is. Ugh. No, Mr. Starbuck would never do anything like that. Ah! Justice Dono, open your eyes and see the truth. This appears to be irrefutable evidence that the accused set off the explosions. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. This can't be the truth. Still can't accept it. You'll believe in your client, come what may. Then why don't you cross-examine the defendant himself? This has got to be a trap. It's like Blackquill's controlling the entire game. Yeah, it seemed like he was waiting for me to bring up the body moving issue. Why'd you say that? Because he had just the right argument when I pointed it out. And to really rub it in, he had a decisive piece of evidence up his sleeve too. He was trying to shake my faith in Mr. Starbuck and break me down. Then making a cross-examine Mr. Starbuck at this point is part of his plan too. Totally underhanded, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him. Now, let us hear from the arch-villain, the fiendish murderer himself. Famed astronaut Solomon Starbuck. Uh-oh. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen? Mr. Starbuck, you aren't looking very well. Will you be able to give testimony? No. Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. You are being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Terran. Please testify to these allegations. Mind if I take this suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence.
Yes, Daddy. It's not the weight of the suit that you feel, but of your sins. Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life. Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore. Wow, that was super negative. Is he going to be alright up there? He'll be fine, I think. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. Yeah, please don't do that. Oh, he looks more determined this time. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and gets out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. I didn't kill Clay, I was trying to save him. Okay. So you assert you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim? I bet you think I'm lying, right? I reserve all judgment till after I've heard your full testimony. I'm sure you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut. I don't think the judge doubts that. Who'd wear a suit like that except an astronaut? I will say that when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous, though I suppose reality never quite lives up to fantasy. I guess I'm just a big disappointment. I really don't care what happens anymore. No. Oh no, he's completely given up. What a depressing fellow. If you were to join me in the clink, I imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates. Like how it rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackquill a second ago. That was Blackquill sighing? Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does it mean? Even if Mr. Starbuck is my client, I can't be gun-shy now. It's time to find out the truth. If this is Japanifornia, I think he really shouldn't be testifying at all unless he's waived his rights against it. Yeah, they get, like, defendants to testify quite frequently in this series, don't they? It's kind of weird. Alright, let's save there.
Hold it!
Hold it! So, what you're saying is that the victim was still alive at that time? Of course, he was alive and well.
Silence!
Yes, Daddy. If so, then you admit you took a man who was alive and well, and silenced him permanently with this. What? No! Ah! Blackquill confirmed, dead. Ah! It's no good, Captain. I'm getting sucked in!
Objection!
What? Mr. Starbuck, you're not in space. Please give your testimony seriously. It was just nerves, but maybe I shouldn't have said he was alive and well. It was more like he was slumped over. This was even a plot point in A4's first case. He couldn't be forced to testify about the murder, just the card game. That's true, actually. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Yeah? This is the Dark Age of the Law.
The Dark Age of the Law.
Hold it!
Hold it! Is that elevator inside the launchpad area? That's right, we always use it to get to and from the cockpit. Yeah. That makes sense. So he's just using the route he always used. In spite of the fact that there had just been an explosion. Huh? I think Mr. Starbuck is hiding something. Something pretty big. Okay.
Hold it!
Passed out. Why was he passed out? Probably because of the explosion. The noise and vibration were incredible. It's little wonder a person would pass out, right? I guess? Not that I'd know. Ah! I've been hit by space debris. The main engine's on fire. It's gonna blow. Ah! Pfft. Yeah, I see. I guess it does make sense that someone would pass out. Especially if the person in question is Mr. Starbuck. Oh, you might be onto something there, Hades. Anyway. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him.
Hold it!
Don't worry, I understand. I'll make sure everything turns out alright. But everyone's glaring at me like I did it. Apollo, you have to reassure him better than that. And how am I supposed to do that? Try to imagine how he's feeling and use that to figure out how to boost his confidence. Mr. Starbuck, think back to what Clay used to always say. It's times like these when he'd repeat, "I'm fine" to himself. I'm fine. Yeah, I guess he did say that a lot. But even if I shout it, Clay'll still be dead. Oh, what's the use? Can somebody please reassure me now? Apollo, there's something strange about Mr. Starbuck's testimony. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. There's a glaring contradiction. I just wonder why it's there and what it means for our case. Well, it doesn't look like he's lying, at least. Guess I'll have to show some evidence. Okay. I think I've got an idea. Now, hear me out, chat. Here's my thoughts. Right? So, look at the security footage. I think this is Clay. And that this is Solomon. Because Clay is carrying the asteroid stuff. Now the question is, how do we prove that, or can we prove that? That's what I want to see if we can do, right? Clay had passed out. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out the rocket. I think this is the one. I think this is the statement. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. Do you think I'm right with this, Hades? Need to focus on something more immediate first. I mean, the game says the contradiction is glaring, and this is the only thing that jumps out at me. It's the only thing that jumps out at me. I'll play it, and I'll see if it works.
Objection!
It's not that. Okay. I don't know, then. Can I check the bombing report? Let's have a look. Police officers and riot police gave evacuation instructions immediately. There was a power outage, so the areas affected remained dark. Security system switched over to emergency power and continued to work. Evacuees moved to the basement shelter. So I suppose that Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. Oh, the bombing report. Hold on. The explosion sparked a fire on the second floor of the main building and the middle level of the launch pad near the elevator. I think I see where you're going. I'm still not confident with this. I thought that my solution was the most obvious to me.
Objection!
Ah, I see. So the insinuation is that the elevator's been blown up. I see. See, they never told us that the elevator had been detonated explicitly. So there wasn't a reason to suspect that it wasn't functional at this point. And Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be accurate as possible. Was that not being accurate? No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level. What makes you say that, Mr. Justice? Please recall when the bomb went off in Launchpad 1. Also recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames. Did they say that? I don't remember him saying that. Oh, you're right. Which means... Exactly. The Launchpad's elevator would have been unusable. In other words... Hang on. I mean, are they trying to say that this place where it shows the bomb going off also denotes that this is where a fire is? Because I don't recall them saying that. That's kind of weird. The description does explicitly state near the elevator. Well, yeah, but it doesn't. What it doesn't. It says near the elevator, but it doesn't say. It doesn't say that the elevator is on fire and unusable. That's why it didn't. That's why this doesn't stand out, because we have no indication up until this particular present that the elevator's out of use. So that would have taken me fucking ages to get. That would have been a random bullshit go moment. Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. What? What's with the helmet? Ah! Mission command! Mission command! Do you read me? Come in, please.
Objection!
You'd be amazed any elevator would be considered functional after a bombing. I mean, you're not supposed to use them. But there's nothing that tells us explicitly the elevator's out of commission. Like, we've not been told that the elevator is damaged and unusable. So until we're told explicitly it is not in use, we have to assume that it is still functional. That's how it would actually work if we were in court. We wouldn't assume that the elevator is out of use. We would assume it's still functioning, unless we're told otherwise. This is Mission Command. I need you to pay attention. Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck. Ah! Me helmet! Ah! Me oxygen tank! Oxygen concentration and body temperature declining. Requesting medical assistance. Oh dear, I think he's dead. Yeah, he's definitely dead. Mr. Starbuck, we are not in space right now. Please stop pretending you've lost consciousness and stand back up. I apologise, Your Honour. I forgot I was still on Earth. I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck, the astronaut. Yeah, he seemed more like an astronaut just now than when he was doing all that sighing. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistency in your statement about how you use the middle-level elevator? I was nervous. I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I actually took a different route, I think. A different route. I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. I'll get it right this time. Maybe not. I mean, probably. Probably. It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you, accuracy is paramount in court. Okay. Let's see, my escape route. What I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe, probably, with the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? That's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. I used that ladder to get to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we can make our escape that way. And the capsule you mentioned, I suppose you mean the thing next to Mr. Terran here. Was the capsule that important you'd risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, that capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With his spacesuit on, Clay weighed a ton, but securing the capsule was also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is riding on your testimony. Maybe I am guilty after all. I wonder if you can see the stars in prison. Bet it's more comfortable than a spaceship. Okay. Okay. So we've only got three press points here. Okay.
Hold it!
Hold it! How could you mistake such a basic fact? Hey, everybody makes mistakes, but try thinking about the vastness of space instead. From Earth, it takes 4 light years to travel to our nearest neighbouring star. So you see, compared to the vast expanse of space, human error is insignificant. I wish you'd consider it just a little more significant than 0. Enough jabbering. Get on with your testimony. Oh.
Hold it!
I'm pretty sure that he's the one who's passed out at this point. Maybe, probably. Did I hear you right, Mr. Starbuck? I didn't say either of those things. Mission control, come in, please. An error's occurred in the sound system. Activate the emergency tin can telephone. Oh no! Tin can telephones are infected with the vacuum of space!
Silence!
Yes, Daddy. Stop this nonsense or I will sever you and your tin can telephone. Alright, I'm begging you. I'll tell the truth. Just don't sever anything. Apollo, is he going to be alright? I'm starting to think he's not. Let's see. So about when we were running away...
Hold it!
We'll press there, see if it gives us anything. The upper level of the launchpad area. That's right. That's what I said, isn't it? Granted, that route does exist. So to recap, you had clay over your right shoulder and the capsule in your left hand. Yeah, it's really important. So I couldn't let it get burned up. So even though clay was really heavy, I couldn't afford to carry him with both hands. I did the best I could with him on one shoulder and the capsule in my other hand. I don't think the meaning of what you just said has hit him yet. You know what you have to do with that statement. Justice Dono. Yes, I know. Well, I've come this far. No turning back now. It's time to present some evidence. So Mr. Starbuck escaped with clay in the capsule, which means... It's just like in the footage. I can see why he couldn't run, though. He must have weighed over 200 pounds just by himself. Yeah, and he had to support Clay, who was another 200 pounds. Plus, he had to ensure the safety of that capsule. I don't think I could have even walked under those circumstances. Walking straight forward is probably about all I've been able to manage. I see what the problem is here. But before we press on it, chat, let me just nip to the toilet really quickly. I'll be right back, alright? Just give me a second. Alright, you girls back. Hello there, chat. Hello. So, with the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. Now, this is the statement. Blackquill told us this is the statement. But what is it we present? It's either the security footage or the diagram. Because, here's my logic, chat. It's a ladder. He needs at least one hand to go down the ladder. He cannot go down a ladder without using at least one hand. So if both of his hands are full, how's he managed it? Which one do you think it is? I think it's this one because it shows that he can't use the ladder. I'm gonna try it.
Objection!
What? How is it not that? Hold on. Well, let's try the other one then. How is it not that? What? That make no sense. Alright, let's try this.
Objection!
Right, okay. So it's the thing that shows there's a ladder, not the thing that shows that if your hands are full, you can't grab anything else. That doesn't make a lot of sense. But alright, it's going to be one of those cases. Why is it that, like, fourth cases in Ace Attorney games always tend to be not as good as people make them out to be? Is that just me? Is that just a me thing? I mean, to be fair, I'm that one guy who thought 2-3 was actually pretty good, so, you know. Maybe my opinion's a bit weird on these things. Anyway, Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? You would have gone to the footage because the bomb report and the diagram that's just it. Oh, yeah, 1-4 was really good. Yeah, 1-4 is definitely... No, I suppose that, like, I'm going on majority case weighting, but... Yeah, the footage... the footage basically shows that he's got both his hands completely full. And you can get from that to say, you can't have used a ladder because, as you see in this footage... Your hands are completely full. You wouldn't be able to grasp the rungs. And that's the logic I was approaching this from, which, you know, I think that would have made sense. But, let's see. The Earth is blue. The Earth is my mother. The Moon is my brother. Saturn is my uncle. No one remembers Krentz in the Hand of Shame. But I do. No, that's not right. So, I guess the Earth isn't blue? Yes, that's it. The truth, Mr. Starbuck. Oh! The oxygen concentration is super low in this area. Prepare the emergency O2 tanks. Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw out the truth from him. Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lounge via the upper level route. Not as long as this was along the escape route. So we have to point out the ladder. So we're basically taking a very roundabout way to explain what I thought the photo already explained.
Take that!
To get down from the upper to the middle level where the Launchpad 1 corridor is, you would have had to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Of course, that was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
But how would that work? At the time, you were supporting Mr. Terran over your shoulder, were you not? And remember, he was in full space gear as well, putting him over at 200 pounds. Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 what it is on Earth.
Objection!
But the space center is located on Earth. Sure, being an octopus, climbing a ladder with an adult male and space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other, is impossible, wouldn't you say? That's what I said the photo fucking proved. Why did the photo not also work? Come on, Capcom. You managed to make multi-choice presents work in 3.3. Why not here? Actually, 3.3 was like unusually baller with like the evidence you could choose. Oh. So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down that ladder with your arms full? Ah! Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth. Now. Ah! Engineer! Where's the engineer? Oxygen leak detected due to falling maintenance. Evacuate immediately! What the? He's flying the coop. Ah! Help! I'm caught on the ceiling! Help. Anyone? 3-4 was pretty good as well, actually, yeah. That's true. Bailiff, prepare the cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once. Well, that's one way to take off while being questioned. I'd rather prove his innocence so we can go to space again someday for real. Okay. Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your feet planted on the ground? Yeah, I apologise for losing control. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Oh, not that. Anything but that. What's going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know. It appears Space Boy is prone to deception. Hey, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Witness. Oh! Yeah? I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect. Oh, Prosecutor Blackquill, please don't talk about that. What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackquill? Didn't I already state that Space Boy is ironically terrified of going into space? Too hot, yeah, I feel that. It cooled off a lot today, though. Like, this morning, I woke up, and I'd actually pulled the duvet all the way over myself because I'd gotten very cold in the night. Because, like, I'll be honest, chat, and make of this what you will. In the summertime, I sleep in underpants and nothing else. And last night just got unusually cold, probably about 2 a.m. So, yeah. Otherwise, normally this time of year, I'm way too hot in bed. So, yeah. Don't draw that, by the way. Don't draw me in bed in just my hot pants, alright? With my tight little bum. Looking just absolutely fine. Very, very fly. You know, looking like a PAWG. Oh, baby. That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. You ran the AC way too hard last month and your electric bill punched you in the gut for it. I'm not rich enough to be able to afford AC. It is a complete luxury in the UK. I assume that you're in America somewhere, Cyber, but for us Brits, it's like absolutely out of most people's price range generally, so I just cry. For you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system. Oh? I sense things are about to nosedive. Oh. You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation, too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It was found in his system, he doesn't remember taking it. How could that be? Somebody must have slipped them to me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember. Because of the side effects? Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What? 29C at 63 humidity, trying to have the window open instead of the cross breeze. 29C at 63 humidity sounds like our weather. The other day, I think it was Wednesday, it was 27C and 90% humidity. That's like average British summer, to be fair. Order in the court. We can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, it certainly explains why his testimony kept changing. Ugh. Why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? I guess he didn't want anybody to find out he was terrified of going into space. Maybe I really did do it. You don't think sweat would even evaporate at that humidity? No. No, I was half man, half sweat. Like, I was slick. I was oiled up. I was like lubrication maxing with my own sweat. Like, I had such a fucking chip on that, like, if I like move my chest slightly wrong, ow. If I move my chest slightly wrong, I could actually just like hear this like vague wet slap. Ugh. Go out to get the mail and come back in having taken an air bath. Yeah, exactly. Which brings us to the answer of our original question of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body. It does. So what is it? A dead man feels no pain and makes no complaints, Justice Dono. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder. Oh my, I see. And then the defendant could climb down with his free hand.
Objection!
Drop the dead body down. Who would do such a disrespectable thing? Disrespectable? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself. So you are capable of quick thinking. Yes, you are correct. Really? Oh, thanks. Ah! Huh? What's this? It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured, and I'm sure you can figure out why. You can't be implying it ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body. I am, for they fracture easily when struck.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the tank's explosion and shrapnel would leave its mark on the body. Yet, according to the autopsy report, only the knife wound was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning.
Silence!
Yes, Daddy. A spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice Dono. It includes the latest technological devices and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space. So falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wearer. So if it's designed to protect against, like, space debris and shit like that, how has a tiny fucking pocket knife gone through it? Huh? How's that happened?
Objection!
Then shouldn't it be impossible to stab someone through it as well? Exactly. It should. And yet, through sheer coincidence, the knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way to its target. What are the chances? You forget that our killer is an astronaut himself with knowledge of how the suits work. He's got me there. And now my argument has been proven. Spaceboy killed the victim in the rocket and then dropped his body from the upper level. After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded them. There's no room for debate about these facts. Let me have a look at... We haven't got the oxygen tank in evidence yet. It's clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Terran. Ah! You just noticed that the bird gets spooked when he slams the desk. Here, the report regarding the astronaut's oxygen tanks. Consider it my send-off gift. Feel free to use it as payment to cross the river Styx. Ah! Okay. The victim's tank was ruptured with no percent left. The defendant's had 80%. Remaining oxygen is displayed in the left shoulder. We've got it. We've got it. Hey, this report is pretty detailed. Look. That doesn't say 80, that says 50. It's not the same tank. It's not the same oxygen tank. That's either someone else or that's Clay. I knew that was going to become relevant. I knew that was going to be relevant. My brain is wrinkly as fuck. Hey, its report's pretty detailed. Let's see. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. I guess that means these glowing cyan digits represent the amount of oxygen in the tank. I'm done for. I'm going to prison instead of space. Space boy. Yeah? Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful, even when viewed through bars. You mean the stars are seen from prison? That's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time. Well, that's not half bad thought. Mr. Starbuck, Prosecutor Blackquill got it to him good. Spaceship prison cell. Fly me, my guilt, and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then, let's get sucked into a black hole together.
Objection!
What? Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh. Yeah, Apollo. You know, Clay really looked up to you. He said you're an incredible man. He said you'd never give up your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. He said that. So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence. For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you, Clay Tarrant. For Clay? You're wasting your breath. Ugh. Ugh. Ah! 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 Well, he's back. Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. Mr. Starbuck. I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my last mission. Right, we'll both be fine. I'll prove you're innocent. You'll see. And after that, we'll get you back into space. Yeah! You've ignited the booster rockets of my soul! I'm on fire! I am Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. A cosmic hero chosen by universe itself. This is no time to be whimpering and crying. I can't let you and Claire down. Boulder Dash. The sun, the moon. All of space is calling me. Solomon, Sol Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Well, I feel like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch. Oh, Apollo, you did it! You broke Prosecutor Blackquill's grip over Mr. Starbuck. I can't take the credit, it was all Mr. Starbuck. He pulled himself through. If you simpletons are done massaging one another's egos, no matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, your boldness? Ugh, I can't let up now. I have to stop Blackquill, I have to see this through. Mr. Starbuck just has to make it back into space. I won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. I've got to destroy Blackwill's argument somehow. Think, Justice, think. If the only people at Launchpad were Clay and Mr. Starbuck, and if Clay was already dead by the time this footage was taken, then the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackwill's argument is, if I can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. I wonder how we do that. I wonder how we do that, chat. I wonder how we do that. In which case, I should be able to find some contradiction in the evidence itself. Now, let's see. About this data we just received, this supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body in Launchpad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, there must be something I can use here. Enough of this farce, your boldness. Let's have your verdict.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackquill, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush the verdict. But about this oxygen tank data you submitted just now. It says Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining while Mr. Terrence had none. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report? Of course. Then I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes. You will explain what you mean, Justice Dono. It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look here at the detailed description, you'll see what I mean. I hope you have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory. Yes, Your Honour. Right away. This is the evidence that the oxygen tank report stands in contradiction to. Me safe scumming. I mean, let's be honest, it's me, of course I'm going to. Okay. It's this, isn't it?
Take that!
And how does this evidence present a contradiction? The problem is this part here. Note the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tanks he carries Mr. Terran. It appears to say 50. Yeah, but according to the data, our client's tank had 80% remaining. The oxygen in the tank increased? I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. It's bad enough that there's a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical. Oh my, you're absolutely right. What is going on here?
Silence.
Yes, Daddy. I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining is increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it is the defendant carrying the victim's corpse.
Objection!
I'm going to bet you don't get more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining shouldn't increase, just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information is critical. We can't overlook it.
Silence.
Yes, Daddy. In that case, do you have an answer to this riddle of the mysterious increasing oxygen? You'd better not disappoint, or I'll declare the inconsistency as mere equipment malfunction. Oh. Prosecutor Blackquill has a point. I suppose it could be a simple malfunction. Mr. Justice, if you cannot provide an adequate counter-argument to this point, I'm afraid I must bring this trial to an end. So do you think you can explain why the remaining oxygen level increased? Of course I can. The thing to do at a time like this is turn my thinking around. Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried clay. So this man with the 50 on his tank ought to be Mr. Starbuck. But if anything, the display on his oxygen tank should have shown an 80. This is a clear contradiction between the report and the security footage. So what I should be asking is not, why did the oxygen level increase? But what had to have happened to make it look like it increased? Am I making some kind of mistake in my base assumptions here? Well, Mr. Justice, we're waiting. Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready to answer. This is why the remaining oxygen appears to have increased. The victim was carrying the defendant. Yeah, it's... Clay is carrying Starbuck. Starbuck's the one who's passed out and Clay's carrying him. What if it was the other way around? The other way around? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice? As you can see, Your Honor, both men had their helmets on in this footage. But it turns out this is where our base assumption went astray. We assumed that it was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran, but it was the other way around. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran at all. It was Mr. Terran who was helping Mr. Starbuck to the boarding lounge. It was what? Oh, what's the emote? Where's Ara when I need them? It's Dino Dance? Yes, there we go. Dino Dance, that's the one. Thank you, Hades. I should have known you'd have my back. Okay. Order, Mr. Justice. You mean to tell me that the person on the right in this image is the victim, Clay Terran? It's the only way the riddle of the increasing oxygen level can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim's tank was 50%. And when the victim was found in the boarding lounge, his tank was at no percent. That's right. There's nothing contradictory about the oxygen levels decreasing. This means Mr. Terran was alive as they made their escape to the lounge.
Silence.
Yes, Daddy. He's trying to make up something to sound coherent. Yes. How short your memory is. Have you forgotten what you yourself proposed? Even if the victim was alive at this point in time. How did he descend the ladder with his arms full?
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackquill, you can't hurt with the broken blade. Excuse me? It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. I suppose that matter needs further investigating. But we have proven that Mr. Terran was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims, and opens up the possibility that the victim could have been killed by a third party. Ah! There were two people who claimed to be the first on the scene, but can we truly trust their statements? Let's see, the two people were Detective Candice and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yeah, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. Can't hurt with the broken blade was one hell of a counter from Apollo. It really was. He turned Blackwell's own sort of like shtick against him. It was beautiful. Don't worry, I still love you though. It seems we'll have to hear the testimony of these first two people on the scene. Score. Come to think of it, Detective Arms should be here in court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Arms in the stand? Oh. Oh, it's Ted.
I have an announcement, everybody.
What's the meaning of this? We're in the middle of a trial here.
Please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated the bomb. The bomb was defused, but it's about to explode.
A bomb. Now. Ah, everybody run. I don't want to die. Oh no, everyone's panicking.
Silence.
Yes, Daddy. Headless chickens with a death wish, the lot of you. Calm yourselves before all else. Come on, Apollo, let's get out of here. What about Mr. Starbuck's dream? And who will carry out Clay's final wish? I don't care what happens to me. I'm not letting some bomb blow the truth up forever. I refuse to let things end here. Apollo, this is no time to be dramatic. We don't get out of here now. We're going to die. Come on, this way. Hey, ow. Let me go. Apollo. Juniper. She hasn't evacuated yet. Ah. Oh, so this is the actual courtroom bombing then. Juniper, are you alright? Apollo, no. Not that way. Ah. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh dear, that's unfortunate. To be continued. Oh, so we got through trial former. Okay. The pacing of this case is kind of weird. Right, let's do the next chapter as well. In the middle of the Space Center bombing trial, we had another bombing incident. This one destroyed courtroom number 4. Furthermore, Apollo suffered massive injuries from being there when the bomb went off. Unfortunately, Juniper Woods was fingered as the courtroom bomber. Why word it like that? Why word it like that? I'm sorry, give me a second. I don't think Ara's about right now. I'm gonna send this on to Ara. Oh, that's just filthy. Good God. Hello there, G-Man. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. I'm laughing at things I shouldn't be. Welcome to Ace Attorney, by the way. Welcome to Ace Attorney. Welcome aboard as well, by the way. Welcome to the Blue Fleet. Good to have you with us. Athena and I knew she had to be innocent, so we took her case on. I'm laughing on things I should be. Excellent. Yes. We managed to clear Miss Wood's name. Juniper was fingered, but she got off. Oh, dear. Yeah, they couldn't get the case to stick. It was too slippery. Oh, YouTube's going to ban me. Goodbye. Goodbye, friends. Oh, no. Managed to clear Miss Wood's name. But Apollo sustained further injuries when he was attacked by Ted Tenati. Unfortunate for him. Okay. I guess we're either playing as Athena or Phoenix again now then, huh? Apollo's a tough guy, but this is taking its toll on him. Yeah, poor guy being attacked by Tenacity like that on top of all his other injuries. So 5-1 happened in the middle of 5-4, huh? Yeah, and I think from what I understand, like 5-4 runs straight into 5-5. The timeline of this game is trippy as fuck. Apollo's resting at the nearby Hickfield Clinic. I've had some experience with that place myself. What an awful turn of events. I never thought he'd land in a hospital of all places. Yeah, not one run by, like, director Hottie as well, huh? You must miss him too, huh? Now you don't have anybody to tease. Don't worry, he's young. He'll heal quickly and be back before you know it. It's been a while since I last saw Trucy look so down. We won the court case, yet nobody feels much like celebrating. Alright, enough of this, people. This is no time to be moping around. Now dry those eyes, both of you. You're the only one who's crying, Athena. Technicalities, look, we have work to do. We have to take over. Take over what exactly? Apollo Space Center case, of course. There's no verdict's been reached, there's still a chance. I agree with Athena. We should pick up Mr. Starbuck's defense. We have to avenge our fallen comrade. Right, Daddy? Apollo hasn't exactly fallen. He's still alive, you know. I have not missed Trucy's voice. Oh, God. Good. Now that's settled. Let's get going. Come on, we gotta run. Wait, right now? We better not be running the whole way. There she goes. I better go catch up. Can you take care of the office, Trucy? Sure thing, Daddy. Let's be careful out there. In the meantime, I'm going to bake some cookies and fill up my magic panties for you. Why are they wording this so badly? Like, let me be clear. For those of you who are not British, like, filling your britches is a euphemism for shitting yourself. So fill up my magic panties for you when she's speaking like a Cockney is really suggestive. She said, I'm going to poo myself just for you, Daddy. And it's like, Phoenix, everything all right, buddy? Well, Trucy seems to be feeling a little bit better. She's got to get the fudge from somewhere. That's disgusting. That's absolutely fucking vile, and I think that's hilarious. I can always count on Athena to perk everyone up with her enthusiasm. Oh, she's back! Don't mind me, just forgot a few things. Wallet, phone, my documents, my bag. Sounds more like you forgot everything. I can always count on Athena for that too. Alright, you two. Let's be careful out there. Just gotta get the fudge from somewhere. Jesus wept. Oh, yeah. Okay. So our client is one Solomon Starbuck. He's so famous, even I've heard of him. That's right. He's a super famous astronaut who works at the Cosmos Space Center. He was actually up in outer space 7 years ago. You seem to know quite a bit about him. Now I'm all excited to meet the man. Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. Apollo told me all about you. You're Phoenix Wright, Apollo's mentor, right? Yeah, that's right. Mentor has a nice ring to it. Don't worry about a thing, Mr. Starbuck. Mr. Wright and I've got you covered. And you're the new kid that Apollo told me about. Wait, don't I know you from somewhere? Huh? You mean, other than at your trial? I don't think so. Oh, I guess so. My mistake. My memory isn't what it used to be. My mind and body are kaput. Same goes for my life. I mean, I'm so astronomically unlucky that I had a bomb go off in the middle of my trial. Trying to defend me would be like trying to enter the stratosphere without a spacecraft. Yikes, he's seriously got to stop depressing himself. Cheer up, Mr. Starbuck. Besides, that thing you said earlier about entering the stratosphere, that just means we'd shine like shooting stars, right? Like shooting stars, huh? You know, you're right. Why didn't I think of that? After all, that's what we're put on this earth to do, right? To shine like stars. Guess I shouldn't mention the fact that shooting stars burn out in a flash. Oh yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1. To the stratosphere and beyond. Is he a Dogecoin investor? Yeah, I feel alive now. You can go ahead and ask me anything you want. Is that really all it takes? Alright. The case. So you have no memory at all of the incident? I'm so ashamed. My memory of the time was as black and clouded as the dark nebula. Still, it's strange you don't remember a thing. Are you sure you didn't take one of those anti-anxiety pills like they said at the trial? You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It is true I developed a fear of space because of what happened 7 years ago. And I was taking medication secretly every now and then when my anxiety got bad. Having a fear of space is not something an astronaut can brag about, you know. Oh, the so-called Hat 1 miracle. That must have been a terrifying experience. But I'm still an astronaut at heart, come what may. I would never take drugs that might impede my performance just before a launch. That launch meant everything to me. That's more certain than the theory of relativity. Didn't the theory of relativity get, like, not disproved, but, like, updated or shown to be outdated recently? He seems like a completely different person now. This is the face of the astronaut I know. But the tranquilizers were found in your system. Yeah, see, that's the thing, but I don't know why I'm done for. If you didn't take them, then maybe someone slipped them to you. Exactly. That's what I thought. It must have been the real culprit. My medication was in my locker. Anyone could have gotten their hands on it. Maybe the real culprit also planted the Destiny switch in your pocket. Ah, that's got to be it. I've been framed. I'll say. They even managed to plant your prints on the switch before slipping it in. It's a real possibility. Do you remember anything else that might be relevant? Anything at all, no matter how small, like about the murder weapon, for example. That knife. I think it came from one of the Space Center's utility kits. Utility kits? Ah, staff who work on machinery a lot are given these special toolkits to use. All the technicians have them, so I doubt you could prove whose knife it is. Okay. Interesting. Tell us about the Hat 1 miracle. As I recall, your last trip into space was 7 years ago, right? That's right. It was a pretty rough experience. During that mission, we had all kinds of problems with the craft. You did? What kind of problems? Power failure, oxygen leakage, busted radio, cracked windows, loose control column. The heat shield came off as we were entering the atmosphere. I thought it was a goner. But I managed to make it somehow with the popsicles and ice packs from the freezer. No wonder they dubbed it the Hat 1 miracle. It's a miracle you made it back. Space is a boundless place. That's why it continues to capture people's imaginations. But the vastness of space shows us how insignificant we are in the scheme of things. The darkness just goes on and on forever, and ever, and ever, without end. There was nobody else there. Nobody was gonna come. Nobody was gonna come save me. I was all alone. All alone, with nothing to listen to but the sound of my own breathing and heartbeats. I kept scrambling to make repairs, but I couldn't keep my hands from shaking. An experience like that would make anyone afraid to go up into space. With the experience you had, weren't you dreading this mission? What? No way. Of course not. Even now I want to go up into space so bad I can barely stand it. I want to shake off the Earth's gravity at escape velocity and spin around weightless. But you have to admit it was pretty harrowing. Weren't you even a tiny bit afraid? I was afraid. Of course I was. Still am. But space is man's fallen frontier, an unknown world. The cosmic truth is out there waiting for us somewhere. The cosmic truth, huh? I guess there are people looking for the truth in every walk of life. No matter how afraid I am, I'm sure I can manage. If I give in to my fear, I'll never find truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. One thing's for sure, Mr. Starbuck's passion for space is undeniably the real deal. Okay. The victim, Clay Terran, he was kind of like your protege, wasn't he? Well, wasn't a big exaggerated deal like that Master Apprentice thing or anything like that. But Claire did think of me as his mentor. The mentor and the protege. What a combination they must have been. With his encouragement, I knew I could get over my fear and go back into space. But now... Clay must have been very encouraging, huh? Yeah, it's funny, really. Whenever I'd hear him shout, "You're fine," I always got the feeling everything really was going to be just fine. You're fine. Apollo says I'm fine and you're fine all the time too. I'd always feel encouraged too whenever I hear him shout it. Ah, Clay and Apollo were best buds. They used to come visit the Space Center a lot ever since they were high school kids. One day, out of blue, Clay even told me he wanted to be my protege. Those two hung around the Space Center so much they were like a part of the staff. One time during Zero-G training, I started to panic a bit. And the two of them took turns shouting "You're fine" over the radio. It was a simple thing, but it was exactly what I needed to hear. So "I'm fine" and "you're fine" were like Apollo and Clay's secret phrases, huh? I wish I could ask Apollo more about Clay and their relationship now. Speaking of Clay, how do you suppose he climbed down the ladder with you over his shoulder? Sorry, but I can't even begin to imagine. But he actually did climb down that ladder, so a way has to exist. From the freedom of space to the walls of a cell. But that prosecutor said the dark night sky isn't half bad through barred windows. You're fine. Solomon Sol Starbuck is fine. Everything's going to be alright. And Athena Sykes is fine. Come on, Mr. Wright. You too. Do I really have to? Phoenix Wright is fine? I can't hear you! Phoenix Wright is fine. We'll get you back into space yet, Mr. Starbuck. Believe in your own innocence and have faith in us. Apollo believed in you wholeheartedly. That's good enough for me. I believe in you too. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. I'll put my faith in you. And I vow to make it back into space. All I need first is a not guilty verdict. Sure feels nice to reassure ourselves every now and then that we're all fine. Okay, Mr. Wright. Let's get our investigation at the Space Center started. Pronto. Good idea. Let's go. So, we need to go here. Okay. Wow, I was wondering what kind of place this Space Center would be. It almost looks like an amusement park of the future. Yeah, did you know they even let the public see their rockets up close? Oh, so check it out. Look at how brightly the Gaiaxa logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. I really dig the stars and rocket motif it's got going. It looks kind of like a Starfleet logo. Gaiaxa, isn't that the new name of the Federal Space R&D program? Yeah, but why the strange acronym? I mean, what is GIA supposed to stand for? Galaxy? If that were it, then the whole thing would be something like Galaxy Exploration Agency. Which, if you ask me, I'd have abbreviated to GAXA, or even Gaia. I guess so. Oh, I know. Maybe the person who came up with the name just really likes the letter Y. This exchange is starting to feel oddly like deja vu. Anyway, this place is more than just a research facility, it's also a tourist attraction. Who's this? Tourist attraction, don't make me laugh, it's a monument to the human race. Galactic Scooter, full speed ahead. This has got to be that president, hasn't it? Why are they on a Segway? Yikes, who's this geezer and what's he want? He definitely sounds like a battle cruiser. He is a battle cruiser from StarCraft 1. Look upon me and look well. Behold the great power of space science. Pardon me, but you are... My glorious name is Yuri Cosmos. I am the director of the Cosmos Space Center. The center of the cosmos. Boss, that was pretty growth-inducing. If this person's the Space Center's director, then that means... Oh, so you were one of the first to discover Clay's body, weren't you? And who was the first to find the victim? Actually, there were two of them. The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candice R. That is correct. I was honored to be the very first man in all of space and time to discover the body. But this talk of the incident, are you by any chance the space police? You can't tack the word space onto just any old thing, you know. We're Mr. Starbuck's lawyers. We're here to investigate his case. Oh, we're Earth lawyers, by the way. Ah, I see. Yes, I've heard about you. In that case, by my esteemed privilege, I grant you permission to investigate. Set a course. I trust you are appropriately grateful. Now go ahead. Have at it. Take it slow. I can already tell he's going to be nothing but trouble. Don't let him hear you say that, or you'll see what trouble really is. Let's just be professional and ask him about when he found the body, okay? Could you tell us what you know about the incident from the other day? I refuse. What? Explaining is a job for common folk, not the director of the center of the cosmos. My testimony, which will go down in space history, will be heard in the courtroom. What? So does that mean you'll be taking the stand tomorrow? That is correct. I will be the most glorious witness in the history of mankind. I'm not sure if he really understands what being a witness is all about. Looks like Director Cosmos is the type that only talks about what he wants to talk about. Then let's at least try to ask him about the things he might be willing to open up about. Such as himself. So as Director, what do you do here at the Space Center specifically? Defend peace across the galaxy and promote space developments in this country. No matter what obstacles stand in our way, we keep going, for the sake of all mankind. I believe I used the word specifically in my question. Attention all personnel, to your break stations, prepare for break. Oh, I get it. You just wander around and tell people what to do in a self-important manner. That is exactly right, because I am an important man. My manner is important. Mr. Wright, this man doesn't get sarcasm. Well, there's bound to be some people like that here in the boundlessness of space. What's that? You want to know what it is that makes me important specifically? Very well, I will tell you. I was the central figure of the Hat 1 project. You may proceed to be appropriately impressed. Now go ahead, have at it. I might be more impressed if I knew what you did for it, specifically. The Hat 1 was a rocket that was launched into space 7 years ago, correct? And despite numerous problems, it somehow made its way back home. I suppose it is part of my job to educate ignorant young folks such as you. Sucker bleach. Very well, I will impart to you the complete story of the Hat 1 project. Oh, thank you very much. Hat 1's noble mission was to collect samples from an asteroid, and Mr. Starbuck was the pilot for that flight. Eventually, the Hat 1 reached its planned orbit, from where it launched the Hope probe towards the asteroid belt. From there, the Hope probe began its long, lonely journey into the far reaches of space. Then, after a terrifying struggle, the Hat 1 returned safely to Earth. That struggle was when the incident known as the Hat 1 miracle occurred, right? Correct, and it truly was a miracle. Of course, they just had to turn the ordeal into a movie. As for the Hope probe, it did eventually arrive safely at its destination. It obtained a few samples from the asteroid and returned to Earth but a few days ago. So what kind of samples are they? What's in them? The samples are scheduled for analysis in the near future. We haven't had time since they just came back the day before Terran's murder. Regrettably, we've had no time to inspect the samples due to everything that has occurred. But this puts our space development program ahead of several other countries by several years. That's quite impressive. I guess this guy isn't just a loudmouth braggart after all. In the golden age of space development, our predecessors were successful in bringing a moon rock back. That is the greatest achievement in the history of this space center. The public fell in love with space and all of its glorious potential. A moon rock, huh? I remember that being big. Our endeavors with the moon rock live on in our work with these asteroid samples. I want to bestow new hopes and dreams for the future upon mankind once again. That is my mission as the man who stands at the center of the cosmos. I hear there's a lot of research into moon rocks and stardust from asteroids these days. They say the results could potentially have a huge impact on all civilization. It's like we're in a new space race with every other country out there. What? Bite your tongue. It's not for anything so base as money or politics. It is all for the brilliant future that awaits mankind, and all for my illustrious mission. With the recent budget cuts, my staff tells me finances are tight, but I won't hear it. I guess even a space program has to watch his budget. By the way, you seem awfully knowledgeable about this kind of thing, Athena. Huh? Oh, you know, I thought I'd better brush up for the case. Is that so? Odd reaction. Well, I will be on my way. As you can see, I am very busy, very important man. Galactic Scooter, fire up the main engine, max battle speed, and engage! That thing's surprisingly fast. Oh, I guess we better get going too. You bet. Let's make it so. We got Star Trek references all up in this thing. Alright, to the boarding lounge. What the fuck? Okay. So this is where Mr. Terran was murdered. Yeah, this is the lounge. Let's see. On the diagram the police made again. Right now we're in the main building here on the right side on the 3rd floor. Clay and Mr. Starbuck fled here from Launchpad 1 after the explosion. You there. No admittance without express permission. We're Mr. Starbuck's lawyers. We've come to investigate. Sorry, nobody gets in without permission, not even the police superintendent. Can't have Detective Fulbright getting mad at me. So Detective Fulbright's here, huh? Yeah, he's in the Launchpad 1 corridor. Go get clearance from him and then we'll talk. Oh, leave it to me. I'm great at getting into that, Detective Fulbright. Let's see. What trick should I use on him today? I don't know if I should be grateful or afraid. So, to get to the Launchpad 1 corridor, we just had to go through that door with the blue rocket on it, I think. Wait, that door? It looks awfully familiar. Good eye there, boss. This is the door Clay and Mr. Starbuck used during their escape from the launch pad. Ah, that explains it. Wait, how's he gotten through there? The fingerprint system has been deactivated. I think we just passed through. Okay, that explains that. Now, come on. Let's go. Interesting. So this is it, huh? This is the corridor the two of them used in their escape. Yep, this is the only thing connecting Launchpad 1 with the main building. I see the police tape down at the other end. Guess we won't be looking at the Launchpad. After the explosion, this whole corridor must have been filled with smoke. And the Launchpad itself was probably a sea of flames. Must have been pretty scary for them. Now, where could Detective Fulbright be? Hey, I think that's him over there. What should I do? Which path is the path of justice? He seems to be lost. That's funny. This corridor is a straight shot. Huh? Ah, it's you lawyer people. Welcome to Space Center. You enjoying a relaxing day off, are you? Here for a little rocket sightseeing? We're here to investigate the scene, same as you. Do you have any info to share? Boss, if he acts all reluctant to give us information, we'll hit him with the whatever shall we do act. I'm sure he'll fall for it. Got it? Are we trying to catch the unruly family dog here or something? Info on the case, huh? Alright. I'll gladly share some with you. Huh? What just happened? Detectives and lawyers seeking truth and justice side by side. I like it. Just take whatever you want from me, you info bandits. I'm in a generous mood today. Okay. I don't know. There's something weird about Detective Fulbright today. There's been something weird about him through this whole case. Well, we need information, so let's run with it. If you say so. Tell us about the crime scene. Detective Fulbright, can you give us permission to investigate the crime scene? There's an officer on guard and we can't get in. Oh, whatever should we do? That's an easy one. I'll let them know over there to let you in. Investigate to your heart's content. Take a week if you need it. A month even. Should I have some snacks delivered? One of my men gives a mean neck rub. No, that's okay, but thanks. Definitely not the Fulbright I know. Detective Fulbright is acting sickeningly sweet. It's kind of gross, actually. Do you think he hit his head or something? Who knows? Whatever the case, it's making our lives way easier. What happened exactly? You were here at the Space Center at the time of the incident, weren't you, Detective? That's right. I was here on a security assignment. The police are required to secure rocket launches now? I didn't know that. Yeah, well, you know us. To serve and protect. The explosions occurred while I was here on duty, so I started leading the evacuation. He's leaving out a lot of details, but okay. Could you tell us more about what happened? Of course. Bomb went off on the second floor of the main building. Right after that, the one over in Launchpad 1 also blew sky high. So I immediately instructed the visitors and the employees to evacuate to the shelter. The shelter? That's right. There's an evacuation shelter in the basement of the Space Center. It's there for accidents and emergencies and the like. So, where were you when the first bomb went off? I was on duty on the 4th floor. It was quite the madhouse, I tell you. The elevator wasn't working on account of the explosion. And the stairs on the 2nd floor were destroyed, so we couldn't go that way. Then wasn't it impossible to get down to the basement shelter? Nah, we lowered an emergency ladder from a 4th floor window and escaped that way. It was a foam ladder, so it wasn't very stable, but at least it reached the ground. After I secured the ladder, I left to take another look around for any other survivors. Once everyone else got out safely, I made my way down too and headed to the shelter. Wow, what an ordeal, but climbing down an emergency ladder kind of sounds fun. Thank you for your answers, Detective. They're very helpful. Just a moment, I have some more information to share with you. But don't tell Prosecutor Blackquill, okay? Wow, and Prosecutor Blackquill usually has you on a short leash too. Well, never mind that. I thought you should know that there was a witness. A witness? Could you tell us a bit more about this witness? Sure thing. The witness was a Space Center employee who was on the 4th floor. While she was climbing down, she looked through a window into the 3rd floor lounge. So, she was looking into the crime scene from the outside. That's right. It was just a matter of chance that she saw something important. Not that I know exactly what she saw yet, though. You don't, but that's the most important thing of all. Ha! Don't you worry, I'll get around to interviewing her soon enough. She should still be somewhere here in the Space Center. You might even run into her. A 4th floor employee, huh? Alright, thanks for the info, Detective Fulbright. Gee, sure I've been cooperative, Detective. Too cooperative, even. Yeah, well... Actually, something you can't talk about? Yeah, something like that. Anyway, never mind. Don't worry about me. Well, I'll be on my way now. That was weird. What was that all about? Something's definitely going on. I'm going to get it out of it the next time I see him. Okay. I'm not so sure I'll talk about it, though. Well, we have permission to investigate now. Let's head back to the boarding lounge. Just before we go too much further, I'm just going to go for a quick wee again. Give me a second. Your girl is back, chat. Ah, you two. Detective Fulbright's granting you permission to investigate. He also said I should bring you some snacks or give you a neck rub too if you'd like. That's alright, but thank you for the offer. Well, time to roll up our sleeves and start investigating. Now, let's see. Where's that diagram again? So this lounge is on the 3rd floor, main building. According to Apollo, this is where he believes a third party killed his friend. Well, let's stop the recap and start looking for traces of this third person then. You read my mind, Athena. We'll make that our first priority. There's just one problem, though. This room. It's just so big. Don't worry. We can use this to help us. A Space Center pamphlet for tourists. Yep, picked it up at the entrance. The maps inside should come in handy. Let's see. Yep, here it is. A map of the lounge. This is the door we went through to talk to Detective Fulbright. Oh yeah. That's the door with the fingerprint recognition lock. Well, I guess this map will make things a little easier. Okay. Yeah, no more excuses. Let's track down the third person. Wait, there's just one more thing. What's that strange creature moving around outside the window? Oh, boss. It's just a holographic image. Oh, yeah, I knew that. Whew, that's a relief. There should be a button somewhere in this room to turn the image on and off. That's what it says in the pamphlet, anyway. The only reason you're so eager to start is so you can push that button, isn't it? And what's wrong with that? Let's just look for the button while we're looking for clues. Alright, fine. Let's get investigating. Alright. So this is where they discovered Clay. Yeah, he was already dead when they found him. Let's take a look at the photo. So he was stretched out like this and... What's that thing that looks like a thermos? That's the thing that Prosecutor Blackquill mentioned when I was in court with Apollo. He said that it contains asteroid samples. Oh, right. Director Cosmos mentioned something about that too, didn't he? That they were brought back only 5 days ago when the probe that the Hat-1 launched. I wonder what they look like. Do you think they'll let us see? Let's think about that after we've solved the case, okay? That's some pretty futuristic looking furniture over there. According to the pamphlet, those are no ordinary chairs. They're like amusement park teacup rides. You can power them yourself, it says. If you spin the table, your chair spins too. Why would anyone want to have something like that here? It's for astronauts who have trouble with the device on the ceiling. No vertical spins. It says it's a training device that's easy on the eyes and on the body. Can a person really call themselves an astronaut if they can't handle 0G? Oh, it's actually a... Okay. No matter how I look at it, all I can think of is torture device. But I guess it's a training device for getting used to zero gravity. Uh-oh. Athena has an odd glint in her eye. Is she thinking about trying that thing out? I should try to stop her, but I'm afraid she'll just outmuscle me. Hey, Mr. Wright, look at that up there. Some kind of fragment. It's stuck in tight. Oh, so that's what the glint was all about. The colour looks familiar. I think it's part of an oxygen tank. I think you're right, but if that's here, it means Clay's tank ruptured after they arrived at the boarding lounge. So Prosecutor Blackwell's theory that Mr. Selbeck dropped Clay down the ladder must be wrong. We already know that you can't have done that. Come on, Athena, pay attention. This proves that both the astronauts were alive when they reached the boarding lounge. So Apollo was right. The scene of the murder wasn't the launch pad. Hee hee! Way to go, Apollo! Okay. What's this? At first glance, it looks like a peaceful landscape, but then there's that creature. Didn't the Hope probe go to some planet? Maybe this is what the surface looked like. I don't know, I think it would have made the news if they discovered a creature like that. It did make quite a bit of news, though, when the probe came back. Yeah, but the Hope probe didn't even go to a planet, it went to an asteroid. That's a big rock kind of thing. Even aliens can't live there. Come on, Athena, pay attention. So it looks like there are 3 doors that lead in and out of this room. Well, let's check. Drum roll, please. Ta-da! The Space Center pamphlet. We're here at the place that says Boarding Lounge 1. Here are the 3 doors. Let's call them Lefty, Righty, and Downy. People usually say west, east, and south in a case like this, you know. Details, details. Anyway, take a look at the west door. That door with the rocket icon leads to Launchpad 1. I know because it says here on the map Launchpad 1 corridor. So that's where we were with the detective. It was filled with smoke after the explosion. Right, next up, the right-hand side of the map or east in your world. That's the door with the satellite dish icon to signify communication, aka the control room. Yep, definitely says control room. Looks like it has another door on the opposite side. They communicate and exchange information with rockets and probes in space from there. So, it's the centre of the Space Centre. The Space Centre, if you will. God damn it, Athena. Does everybody start to sort like Director Cosmos after they've been here a while? But it seems like they built a new command centre on the 6th floor. That's what they used for the Hat 2 mission, so this control room was empty at the time. I've always wanted to see the inside of a mission control room, and since we're here, I'd love to do that too, but it doesn't look like we'll be able to. They want to keep curious kids like you out. So the door's protected with fingerprint recognition. Only the director can go through. With that much security, I'm definitely not the one they're looking for to keep out Athena. So apparently the lock is also hooked up to a backup generator in case of emergencies. Okay. Okay. What about that last door? This lower door? Oh, excuse me. I mean south door. At least the elevators. This is the door we came through when we entered this room, right? Yep. And of course, there's no fingerprint recognition device, so it's open to anyone. But the elevators weren't working at the time due to the explosion. Well, that's about it for the 3 musket doors of the boarding lounge. Oh my god. Thanks. Understanding the layout of the lounge should help us understand the case. That's why I thought we better have a good grasp of where all the doors go. Okay. Doobly doo doo doo. What's this? Here's another amazing piece of equipment. Walk on the surface of the moon, it says. Oh boy, I want to try it! Gravity is weak on the moon, so I bet I can do mid-air somersaults. We're still on Earth, remember? Besides, it's connected to the ceiling. Well, at least I can jump really high. There's a sign on the wall that very clearly says, don't jump too high. Then what good is this thing? Didn't I say in the beginning, walk on the surface of the moon? Hey, I see something shiny down there. Let's take this cover off then. Is that a bullet? What's this? It looks like a metal jelly bean. It's really small, but it's a bullet. It's only about 2 to 3 millimeters in diameter. Let's see, that would make the caliber 10? Caliber refers to the diameter of a gun's barrel, right? Yeah, but I've never heard of a 10 caliber gun before. This bullet must be for some kind of a special gun. I bet if you tried firing a bullet this small with a regular sized gun, it would just fall right out. Yeah, it must have been a really small gun. I wonder how the bullet ended up here. I mean, we're in the bottom left on the south door side of the room according to this map. That's pretty far from where Clay's body was. Maybe the police didn't think to look here. Yeah, leave it to Detective Fulbright to accidentally hand us just the card we need. Okay. That wasn't what I expected to find here, but... What's this? A trapdoor? It's a trash chute. The cleaning robots throw the garbage out from here. The robots do the cleaning. What a futuristic world we live in. I just hope that they don't revolt like they do in science fiction movies. No way, all the robots here are very nice. Actually, wasn't there one in the Launchpad 1 corridor? You can go say hi to it if you want. I don't think there's anything else for us to view here. No. The camera. It's supposed to be the security camera that recorded the astronauts making the escape. Oh, let's commemorate this occasion with a love and peace. If you're done now, shall we move on? Yeah, okay, but just one more for the road. Peace! Very mature. That didn't really give us anything, did it? Okay. So this is the fingerprint recognition device. I guess you put your hand on this hand mark. Well, I guess when you can try. Now, to line my hand up with the outline. Don't think the thing's related to the case. Get your prints all over that, and the next thing you know, you'll be named a suspect. Oh, how can you be so cruel to a little girl like me? I'm not buying those tears, Missy. I wonder what this big knob's for. It looks like the knob on a stove. Well, it's the same shape, but I think that's where the similarities end. I mean, it's behind a glass pane. What kind of stove would require knob security like this? Well, the knob is straight up and down, so if it was for a stove, the burner would be off. Right. If it was for a stove. Still, I wonder what it's really for. Something turned on by a knob that's not a stove? How about a rocket engine? If you had to start the engine here, the rocket would take off before you could get in. Well, then, I guess all we can say for now is it's a mystery knob. Or it's a fire alarm. More likely. Let's see. This door is... Where's that pamphlet? Here we are. It's the door to the corridor that leads to Launchpad 1. We went through it earlier when we went to talk to Detective Fulbright. So I guess the security lock must be disengaged now, right? They say the corridor was filled with smoke at the time of the bombing. This thing beside the door, this must be the fingerprint recognition device. Which reminds me, I think Prosecutor Blackquill talked about it at the trial. Okay. The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. And allow me to state up front that there are precious few with the clearance to do so. Hold on. No. They're not... No. I refuse to believe that my intrusive thoughts have any basis. My intrusive thoughts just said, remember Face Off with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta? And it's like, really? Like, just entertain me on this one, chat. What if someone has not... What... Oh, what was it now? There was a game that I played at some point in the past, and to get through a fingerprint coded door, like, you literally dismembered someone's hand and used that to get through the door. What if someone took someone else's fingerprints? Like, what if someone's got a dismembered hand in their pocket and they've gone through the door that way? What then? I mean, even for Ace Attorney, that would be too much of an acid trip. Does this mean the bomber's prints were verified by the system? But the number of authorized personnel was supposed to be really small. Voila! Fingerprint powder. I bought it just in case something like this came up. I found it at the office. I've been just itching for a chance to use it. Wow, way to think ahead. Now let's dust the fingerprint recognition device, see what we can find. You got it. Now to sprinkle some here and a little over there, and... Whew! Oh, we're not going to get to do it. That's a shame. Let's see what we have here. Oh! We got something. Ah, it's only a single set of prints. Isn't that a good thing? Sure wish we could figure out whose prints these are. Although, I doubt we'll be so lucky as to get the culprit's prints on the first try. Well, I'm willing to bet Detective Fulbright has some fingerprint data. Right. And there's a security footage of this door, too. Yeah, here it is. Came in court the other day. I wish we could see the part of the footage just after this bit. Oh, because that'd be right before the murder, wouldn't it? Assess the detective. With the moodies in, he'll probably show it to us right away. Yeah, he's in almost too good of a mood today. Let's go see if we can find him again once we're done with this room. Okay. What's that? Oh, mirror! How thoughtful to put one here. Thoughtful? So the ladies can fix their makeup. One's appearance is just as important in space as on Earth, you know. You never know when you're going to run into some other life form after all. How am I enjoying the case? It's perked up a bit. It's opening too many questions, though. I don't know how to describe it. Something weird is happening in this case, and I can't quite put my finger on what. My gut feeling, based on how people are acting, is that someone is a Mogus. Yeah, something odd. I feel like someone's an imposter. Something weird in Ace Attorney. Perish the thought. Perish the thought. No, I mean, I feel like someone is not who they say they are. Or someone is hiding something. But I don't have any clear indication of what. I've just got a gut feeling to go off right now. I don't think anyone who's like that would ever become an astronaut in the first place. What are these? These are apparently oxygen capsules. They're for recovery after a training session. I wonder if they can change your voice. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Huh? It didn't do a thing. It's not helium, Athena. It's oxygen. Oh my god, that just gave me an amazing idea, chat. What if I stream a game whilst also supping on helium? What then? Could you imagine? Just like a stream of me on helium. Oh my god. That would just be stupid. There's a remote here. There's some kind of panel with 2 buttons on it here. Just push it. That's the invariable principle of buttons. There are such things as buttons left unpushed. Oh, okay. Hey, the giant holographic image disappeared. Yeah, though that side of the wall seems kind of barren without it now. Still, let's see if we can't find anything new with the image off. With the holographic image off, the screen's completely black, which, for some reason, just makes me think of losing an argument to prosecutor Blackquill in court. But at least it's got my brain revved up. I come up with my best ideas at times like these. Oh! What the fuck? Hey, Mr. Wright, take a look at this. It looks like a bullet hole. Great find, Athena. It's pretty big. Whoever fired the shot must have been using a pretty large gun. You think so? Based on my experience, I said it was fired from a regular pistol. Well, whatever size it was, someone fired a gun in here, right? Apparently. This is an important fact. Do you see a bullet around somewhere? No, the police might have taken it, though. Okay. Let's ask Detective Fulbright about this bullet hole later. I think we've got everything from this room.
Welcome to the Space Center, guests. Welcome.
Oh! What in the world?
My name is Ponco. P-O-N-C-O. Ponco! Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you looking around? Choose one. I will guide you.
It's, a robot?
I am not a robot. I am Ponco. Do what I say. Psychological observation and navigation companion. P-O-N-C-O.
You got a gut feeling might also just be the chili you had for dinner? Cute not robot moment? Let's stick it in a jar, and then put that jar in a radiator after we've seasoned it but good. Well, I'm glad we got that cleared up. Oh, Ponco, I've missed you. Huh? Do you know this thing, Athena? Oh, she showed us around the last time when I came here with the Apollo. Oh, you're such a good girl, Ponco. That's a good girl.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy. So very happy.
Wow, a guide robot. That's pretty cool. My name's Phoenix Wright. Nice to meet you.
I don't know you. I don't know you.
Huh? Ow, that hurt. Cute not robot moment. Oh, she has to register people she meets for the first time. Please register him, Ponco.
Certainly. Commencing guest registration. Please tell me your name. A nickname is fine too.
His name is Phoenix. A bit overly familiar, but I'll allow it.
Phoenix, please let me get a good look at your face.
Oh, sure.
Registering. Facial registration sequence complete. We are now officially friends. Nice to meet you, Phoenix.
Huh? This robot is pretty cute. You made a friend, boss. Isn't it great?
Phoenix, Athena, allow me to guide you. Right this way.
Oh, goody. Let's go, boss. Go where? Oh. Space Museum. Okay. Don't look much of a museum to me. Oh, wow. What is this place? Is that rocket real?
Welcome, welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 AM to 7 PM. Learn about the history of our nation's space development and the Hat-1 project. The rocket is just a replica, but it's the same size as the real one.
The Space Museum? Oh, here it is on the map. Okay, so it's on the exact opposite side of the main building from Launchpad 1. Okay.
Ask me anything, I will explain.
Okay. Tell us about Hat 1. It's quite the place. I can't believe we get to see a rocket this close up.
This is a replica of the Hat-1 that was launched 7 years ago. It's exactly like the real Hat-1, inside and out.
Okay.
Its little brother, the Hat-2, was supposed to launch the other day.
I wonder if Ponko knows why the launch was cancelled.
Over there is an exhibit about the launch 7 years ago. Check it out, check it out.
Spacesuits, photos, newspaper articles. Like to come here on a day again on the day off. Hey, what's this a photo of? Phoenix, that's the staff of the Hat-1 oh, wrong voice.
Phoenix, that's the staff of the Hat-1 project.
Oh, there's Mr. Starbuck. He looks so young and so different. Oh, and that's... What is it, Athena? Is something wrong? Oh, nothing. I just thought Mr. Starbuck looked really young too. That's all. So we've got Sol, Clay, Battle Cruiser operational. We've got Ponko. We've got Drill Lady. And then we've got this lady. So I don't know who these two are. Well, it was 7 years ago after all. So the young guy standing next to Mr. Starbuck is Clay Terran, the victim. These two ladies on the side remember them. Understood. So they were mentor and protege even way back then. And he's even got one of the staff jackets. He looks just like a regular staff member.
No, Clay was still a student then. He just borrowed one of Solomon's old jackets.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Clay would have been in high school 7 years ago. Everybody looks so happy. This Space Museum's great. A lot of things will click into place once who they are is cleared up. Understood. Understood. What fantastic exhibits.
This area used to be Launchpad 2. That's why the only entrance is on the 3rd floor.
Wouldn't it be better if they just made a new ground floor entrance instead?
There was talk of it, but they had to scrap their plans because of the budget cuts. Budget cuts, budget cuts, we need more money. Money!
Who would record that kind of information into a guide robot?
While it was in space, the Hat-1 launched a probe called Hope. The Hope probe collected some samples from an asteroid and returned 5 days ago.
That's what Director Cosmos said too. He told us it came back the day before Clay was killed.
And here it is, the Hope space probe.
Oh, okay, okay. I think I've seen that logo somewhere before. Let's see. Oh yeah, the capsule that the victim was carrying. I think it had the same logo. I think it can be seen in the photo attached to the autopsy report. Maybe she'll give me more info if I show it to her. Let's ask her about the launchpad layout as well.
The way the Space Center launchpad is set up is really cool. Would you like me to tell you about it? Would you?
The setup of the launchpad. Go gentle on my spiky head mind. I want to know! I want to know! Phoenix wants to know too. Great. Now Athena's got a case of Ponkoitis.
Hooray! I will tell you then.
Hold on. This thing describes itself as psychological something or other. The P stands for psychological, and that's Athena's, like, thing, isn't it? So they've got a pre-existing history, and I don't think she was being truthful with us.
The rocket is built right inside the launchpad structure. When the rocket is complete, it's moved along with the launchpad over the rails.
Oh.
And brought into position at the launch site. Isn't it cool? Isn't it? We used to have a big budget, so that's how we could build it all.
It's very cool. A grand setup that suits an important place like the Space Center. Oh, just give me a second. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I had a request from Ara to pay 100 yeet. Okay. I guess everyone is hoping for a bigger budget next year, myself included. I'm guessing the whole thing is operated from the control room, huh?
That is it. But it can also be operated from the new command center too. Either way, the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be first disengaged.
I guess before a big move like that can be carried out, there are all kinds of procedures. I'd love to see the launch pad being moved. When's the next one scheduled for?
Searching data. All future plans have been put on hold.
Because of the bombing and the murder, I'll bet. Which is perfectly understandable. Well, when was the last time it was moved?
Searching data. I'm sorry. That answer isn't in my answer database.
I guess Ponko can only answer certain questions. So Phoenix wanted us to present... what was it he wanted us to present? Hold on. Present the security... Right, yes. I like the fact it gives us these things. Look, that's neat. So we need to show Ponko the autopsy report. Okay. Ponko, do you recognise this capsule here in the top right?
Checking registered data. I know. It's the Hope capsule. It was carried inside the Hope probe.
It contained the asteroid samples, right?
Yes. It was designed to store the samples gathered by the Hope probe. It's been stored in the safe in the Launchpad 1 ever since it returned to Earth. It must not be removed.
You don't spend too much time looking around confused investigation sequences. I tell you what, like, a lot of people I've seen ragging on DD for being very handholdy, but it actually removes one of my big complaints about a lot of cases in the series. Like, when you would have one tiny piece of evidence that you'd be missing, or one tiny conversation that you were missing, and you had to troll through everything to find it. This gets rid of that. It's a big quality of life improvement. Don't worry, Ponko. The people in charge already know what happened.
They do. I must ask them later.
So the capsule's being kept in Launchpad 1, huh? Maybe Clay was trying to carry it to safety after the explosion. The Space Center staff must have been really excited to finally get the capsule back. It's a pity this incident occurred before they got a chance to check the contents. Well, the police took it as evidence, so they'll have to wait a little longer. Is this some Cold War era spy bullshit going on? Is that what this is leading to? Is it like... Are we going to find out that, like... the killer is some sort of Soviet assassin who's come to steal the Hope capsule samples? Huh. Nah. There's got to be something a bit more reasonable than that. Well, we certainly learned a lot about the Space Museum. Thank you, Ponko. You explained everything very well.
I love to explain. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
You two are like old friends. It's hard to believe you just met recently. Hee hee. Oh, it's because Ponko's so friendly. Well, what should we investigate next? Let's go find Detective Fulbright. We have things to ask him about. Let's see, the security footage and the fingerprint data, was it? Alright, let's go back to the Launchpad 1 corridor. Bye, Ponko. See you later.
Come again. And don't forget to visit the gift shop.
Poor Ponko. What a Dickensian life we were all forced to lead. I just noticed the robot has boobs. The robot's got tits. It's like a titty bot. Ow! Yeah, but am I wrong? Am I wrong, Hades? I'm not wrong, am I? What should I do? Which path is the path of justice? There's Detective Fulbright. He still seems to be lost even though it's a straight corridor. Let's hope he's still in a cooperative mood as well then. If he doesn't cooperate, then I'll just have to use my powers on him. You mean that lady in distress bit? We found a bullet hole in the wall at the crime scene. You did? Our team found that too. It was Detective Arm who found that bullet. Detective Arm? That's right, a warning shot for the defendant. Was it really such a high-threat situation she needed to do that? I'm afraid I don't know the details, what with Detective Arm gone and all. Hang on. So, Detective Arm was at the scene of this crime. She's now dead. Clay Terran was at the scene of this crime. He's also dead. Chat, I've worked this case out. Oh my god. I know exactly what's happened. This rocket was made by Boeing. Oh, they're after me as well now. Fuck! God damn it. Okay. God, fucking hell. Oh, no. Oh, they're gonna whistleblower me. I don't want to die like this. Not like this. Not like this. I'm too young and sexy to die. But I thought there were two people who discovered the crime scene together. We already know Director Cosmos will testify, so tomorrow will be about what he knows. Hey, you're pretty smart. That's exactly what we're planning to serve as the main course. So deep in this case, his past lies the true culprit, McDonnell Douglas. You want to know something? That actually proves that Ace Attorney takes place in the same universe as Subnautica. Because who made the Aurora? Not Altera. No. Boeing made the Aurora. Now you know. We're all in this together now, chat. We're all going to be victims soon. Hope it goes down easy. Detective, we'd like to run a comparison on some prints we found in the boarding lounge. Ah, yeah, I just happen to have compiled the print data of everyone related to this case. I can always make another copy for myself, so it's all yours. Consider it a gift. This is quite a bit of data. Well, when I said everyone, I meant it. Prosecutor Blackquill said to dig deep, so that's what I did. It sure took a while, though. Wow, we got Apollo's and my prints. He even got prints for all of the robots. What? Robot prints? What the fuck? I guess when Blackquill said to dig deep, Fulbright didn't bother to ask how deep. Oh, Clay's fingerprints are here too. Our person removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity after all. I still can't believe he took off his glove to get his fingerprints. Yeah, well, you can't blame me for thinking they're important in this case. There are a lot of doors that require fingerprint verification in the lounge. So depending on whose prints we find, it can completely change the tide for both sides. Makes sense. After all, the culprit's prints did get them past the fingerprint lock somehow. Oh, and take this picture. It might come in handy. Isn't this just a photo of the Launchpad 1 door? Yep, but Prosecutor Blackquill seemed really interested in it for some reason. What's so important about this door? Beats me, but boy, could you see the gears in his head going to hyperdrive at it. Sounds like this is going to be a major point of contention tomorrow. Hey, don't forget about the fingerprint comparison, boss. Right, Detective Fulbright, do you think you could run these tests for us right now? You just leave it to me. In just as we trust. Okay, here we go. Well, it looks like it was Mr. Starbuck who opened that security door. He must have opened it when they went to go board the rocket. His heart must have been full of hopes and dreams for his space adventure right then. Okay. Let's have a look at this. So, there's two photos. Also see photo taken after the incident. I don't see anything weird about this. But Blackwill's brain's gone into hyperdrive. Why? Curiouser and curiouser. Present security camera footage to Fulbright. Detective, about the security footage that was taken by the Boarding Lounge 1 camera. Oh, that footage! Go ahead and ask me anything you'd like about it. Is there any way I could see a little more of the part just after this? Easy as pie, I'll be glad to show you. Here we go! Huh? The screen went blank. Yeah, apparently the after effects of the explosion damaged the wires, so there's no footage after this point. Ha ha ha! Why didn't you just say so from the beginning? Something definitely seems to be up with you, Detective. You're unusually cooperative. Well, I just figure if we work together, we'll get that much closer to justice, right? But it seems like something's really been bothering you. You don't have some ulterior motive, do you? What? I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do anything like that. What? Oh, you son of a bitch. You motherfucker. Oh. I didn't expect this. It's been a while, but those are definitely psyche locks. Did you just mouth psyched? Is there something I should be psyched about? No, psyche lock. It's a system of locks on the secrets in a person's heart. I can see when people are trying to hide those secrets by using the power of this Magatama. Presenting evidence can break those locks and reveal any secrets they're hiding. Hope we haven't missed them. Mr. Wright, how much did they bilk you out of that piece of rock? Hey, if you've been swindled out of some lawyers I can introduce you to. I'm more than capable of representing myself, thank you very much. It isn't some kind of fraud. It really works. A friend gave it to me a long time ago. But I guess seeing is believing. Allow me to show you. Let's see what presenting the Magatama will reveal, shall we? Oh, boy. So, for those people who are relatively new to my chat, we are about to MTR Detective Bobby Fulbright. Yes, that's right, we're about to fuck him up the ass with our magic truth rock. Let's fucking go!
Take that!
Take that! Okay. I think you're hiding something, Detective. So why don't you just tell us about it? What to do? Which path is the path of justice? Detective Fulbright is really in agony. I bet this is the issue he's so torn up over. Justice. I really understand what's been bothering you, Detective. I truly do. Something happened that goes against your principles, isn't that right? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Until the explosions occurred, everything was just fine. Is that a fact? Yep. Peaceful as peaceful can be. Everyone whistling a happy tune as they did their job. You never saw a more relaxed guard detail for a routine rocket launch. I don't think the guard detail was as relaxed as you claim as long as this exists. What are we thinking? I think it's the bullet. I think it's the bullet. What do you reckon, guys? What do you reckon? What do we reckon? The bullet? Tight security? Shall I try it? We don't seem to have the bar. I'm gonna try it.
Take that!
There must be something wrong with my sunglasses today. You aren't presenting that to me as evidence, are you? Is he making fun of me? It's just as I said. Until the explosions occurred, everything was just fine. Okay, so it's not that. Maybe the bullet hole? Or the hope capsule. The guard detail was relaxed as you claim as long as this exists. I mean, this is why they were all so het up.
Take that!
Nope, it's not that. I don't know then. As long as this exists. He's given us an explanation for the bullet hole. Do we have what we need? Try the bullet hole?
Take that!
I don't think I have what I need. Because this is why the guard detail would have been high, because they're getting the rocket prep to get this bag. Right. Or they're taking that somewhere. There's a bullet that we found. The guard detail can't be relaxed. There's a bullet hole, but I don't understand. This is a random bullshit go moment, chat. At least we're not being punished for it. We're just gonna have to throw whatever shit we've got and hope something sticks, I think. Because I can't make head nor tail of this. I need to use proof of what happened when things did go wrong. See, that doesn't make sense. Like, there's no way that I would have reached a conclusion like that without being told. For all that this case has, like, some really intriguing moments, the actual presents are really stupid. They don't make a fucking jot of sense, but okay, let's try this.
Take that!
Before the explosions, what was supposed to happen here was a rocket launch. And yet security was so tight they even brought in a special task force. I'd hardly describe that as a relaxed guard detail. Okay. Now hold on just one moment. The entire nation had their eyes on this extremely important rocket launch. That's why I was called in on a special security detail. As versatile as you are, I can certainly believe that's true. But I say it's very strange that this person would be part of that detail from the outset. Candice Arm was on the detail. Why was a bomb disposal expert on the case?
Take that!
See, that one actually made sense intrinsically. Detective Arm specialized in bomb cases. The fact she was here on hand means that you people knew there was the possibility that a bombing would occur. Oh, you got me, Mr. Right! At least we didn't lose health for that. Alright, I concede. You win. It's just as you say. A few days before the launch, they were warned about a potential bombing. The plans to launch went ahead and spotted the threat. But why? What were they planning to do if someone got hurt or killed? Yeah, I know. The decision to move forward wasn't exactly just, was it? How was the warning delivered? By phone and directly to Director Cosmos. But the police department instructed everybody to keep it under wraps. That's a big thing to keep quiet about. No wonder you were so upset. It's not only that. I've been distraught about Prosecutor Blackquill as well. Prosecutor Blackquill? Why? Well, as his handler, I'm sure you have a lot of difficulties. That's not it. It's a question of justice. I've been wondering about why he's allowed to stand in court. Oh? The reason he's still prosecuting. Detective Fulbright, please tell us everything you know. Interesting. Well, talking to you folks about it would definitely be breaking the rules. Never mind that. What rules but things to be broken, right? Well, to tell you the truth, having a prisoner act as a prosecutor is highly irregular. I think we guessed that much. So why is it being allowed? I've been wondering and wondering about it. So you weren't told why either? No, I guess the order came from pretty high up the ladder. Yeah, it would have to have. But Prosecutor Blackquill told me once. The hunt I've been on for the Phantom of 7 years past continues even still. 7 years past? A Phantom, huh? And not one of the friendly variety either. This Phantom of 7 years past. Any idea who or what he was talking about? Not a clue. But he seems to think that this Phantom is behind this whole instance somehow. Wait a minute, he thinks they may be connected to this case. Yep, this case has way too many similarities to what happened 7 years ago. For starters, that case happened right here at this very space center too. And in both instances, a threat was issued via telephone. So that's why Prosecutor Blackquill thinks this incident is the work of the Phantom. Well, that's not the entire reason. I mean, if you want to talk about 7 years ago, that's when Prosecutor Blackquill was found guilty of murder. That messy case is what started the whole dark age of the law. So you see how this Phantom and Prosecutor Blackwill's conviction might be related. Yeah, I can see why you'd think that. This incident and the Phantom, not to mention Blackwill's past, it's almost inconceivable they would come to a head here. This might sound crazy, but Prosecutor Blackquill can't possibly believe Mr. Starbuck is this Phantom person, right? I mean, he was acting kind of strange during the last trial and all. The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence.
Yes, Daddy. Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet. Hmm? Ah! No, I doubt he... Wrong voice. No, I doubt he thinks Mr. Starbuck is his Phantom. Hello there, Rinsey. How are you doing? But I do get the feeling he thinks the defendant has ties to them, which is why he's acting so impatient. He's got a personal grudge against Mr. Starbuck, and that's not real justice. I've always trusted in Prosecutor Blackwill's judgment until now, but this time, I'm just so overwrought about it all. If he's lost his ability to think rationally, I'm afraid it might lead to a false conviction. I've never seen Detective Fulbright so tormented. This must be why he's been so cooperative. Don't worry, that's exactly what we defense lawyers are working to prevent. I feel bad for Prosecutor Blackquill, but I'm gonna be rooting for your team this time. But don't tell him that. You have to promise me you won't. Detective Fulbright, I guess what's wrong about you? I swore to reform Prosecutor Blackquill and make him a valued member of society again. So I can't just sit by and watch him give in to his emotions and tear the defendant apart. You're the only ones who can stop him in court. You really care about what's best for Prosecutor Blackquill, don't you, Detective? Leave the... Oh, wrong voice. Leave the courtroom to us. Not like we want a guilty verdict either. I was hoping you'd say that. I'm really grateful to the two of you. To show my thanks, I'll give you another bit of information. It's about the eyewitness. I saw her hanging around the Space Center entrance a little while ago. Really? Then let's go find her, Mr. Wright. Thanks, you two. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm gonna work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you. In justice we trust. On 3. 1, 2, 3. In justice we trust. Okay, later. He's been snorting some real cocaine today, that kid. There he goes. Wait, were we supposed to say in justice we trust back there too? Let's go see that witness now. Alright, the Space Center entrance it is. So who's the witness? Who've we got? The witness must be around here somewhere.
Hello, hello.
Uh-oh. Don't tell me the witness is a robot. Hello. Oh, come over here.
Hello, hello. Are you sightseeing? Are you lost? Are you... I am Clunko. Shall I guide you? Guide you.
I don't know why, but this robot is kind of freaking me out. Who's this? Hey, you're not supposed to be wandering around. Oh, it's the drill lady. Again? I've had it with your hunk of junk.
Ah! I'm outside. Am I wondering? When did that happen?
Okay. Welcome back, hunk of junk. You don't know how close you came. If you didn't snap out of it, I was going to put you on the curb on trash day. Nothing works better than a 42.5-degree karate chop. That's pretty specific. Excuse me, but are you the one who witnessed the murder? Oh, and I'm Phoenix Wright, the lead attorney for this case. How do you do? Big shot lawyers, huh? I'm Aura Blackquill. Nah, I can't be. I'm a researcher developing robots here at the Cosmos Space Center. Blackquill? Could she be? And this good-for-nothing robot is named Hunk of Junk.
My name isn't Hunk of Junk. My name is Clunko. That's me, Miss Aura.
Quit complaining. Your model number is Ponko 2. Man, I kind of feel like a bit jealous of that robot.
But Miss Aura, everyone calls me Clunko.
Quit your squawking already.
No, what are you doing? No, don't.
Ow. There. I bet you won't be talking back now.
Ah, I will obey completely.
Yikes. I better watch what wires I cross with this one. Your last name. Your last name is Blackquill. Do you have a relative in the legal profession?
You are correct. Simon Blackquill, who used to be a prosecutor, is...
Donk! Shut up! Only speak when I order you to speak. Simon is my little brother. You know him. Yeah, we met him in court a few times. Right, Athena? Why's she gone quiet? What a dull creature. Has her switch been turned off? Athena being shy? This is new. Oh yeah, I heard he was prosecuting again, despite being a prisoner. Why doesn't he just stick to solving disputes among inmates in prison, right? Hey, what do you think, Hunk of Junk?
Ah! Miss Aura, that hurts!
I'm asking you a question. Why don't you answer me, useless hunk of junk?
But Miss Aura, you told me to only speak when you ordered me to speak.
I told you to never talk back to me. You're worth more as scrap. Robot abuse, hawk attacks. Blackquill family life must sure be, interesting. Well, do you have any other questions? Wait, of course, you're a lawyer. It's not like I'm on Simon's side or anything. I just want to get this over with. Okay. So, you're the person who witnessed the incident? That's right. I was on the 4th floor of the main building. In the robotics lab. Okay. The explosion disabled the elevators, so I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. But it was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? It must have been a very troubling experience. Probably best to just humour her here. Then, as I passed by the 3rd floor boarding lounge one window on my way down, I saw the crime as it happened. And that's about it. So you saw the crime as it happened, and that's about it. I see. Wait, what? You saw it being committed? This notice just not repeat. So you saw it to the 3rd floor lounge. The very scene of the crime. That's right. There's a small window on the right-hand side of the room. I looked through that from the outside. The room was pitch black, but I saw a shady figure holding a lighter in their left hand. And a knife in their right. That must have been the culprit. Did you see who the person was? Of course not. The power was out on that floor then, and there was only that tiny window. I see. But you did witness the moment of the murder. Yes. I saw the figure with the lighter raise their knife, and... It happened at precisely 10 AM. Did you witness anything else? Did the killer have any distinguishing features? We don't have a time of death. Not an exact time of death, anyway. I already told you, it was pitch black in there. Although, I did notice that the lighter the person had in their left hand had a pretty ornament on it. It looked like a planet. It was blue, like a little Earth emblem. They had good taste in knickknacks, anyway. An Earth emblem on the lighter. I'd better remember that. Okay. Thank you for your statement. We'll definitely prove Mr. Starbuck's innocence with it. Yeah, right. I won't hold my breath. Pardon me? Oh, did I hurt your feelings? Oh, sorry. Just detest lawyers, that's all. What don't you like about lawyers? It's just, instinctive dislike. But don't feel bad. I hate prosecutors even more. That didn't make me feel any better, actually. Why do you hate lawyers? Why do you hate lawyers so much? Little thing from my past. The whole legal system is meaningless in the first place. I certainly don't agree. I mean, people are imperfect. They lie, they're influenced by silly emotions. You can't expect such imperfect creatures to uphold a reasonable system of law. I like robots much better, even sad sacks like this one. Hey, you, look alive there. Good grief. Ah, yes, here I go. I am the ultimate robot with amazing... Oh god, he's going hyper mode. I can't keep up with... Alright, that's enough out of you. You're getting a little too carried away. Huh? What was I doing? Yep, I like robots much better. At least you can make them any way you want them. Unlike humans with their petty emotions and constant worries. How can you say such things? Feeling emotions, worrying about the things we care about? That's what makes us human. Well, the girl finally talks and she starts with a speech. That's what makes us human? You mean getting angry and snorting like that? Rational thought. That's what separates humans from animals. Unfortunately, your reasoning capabilities are more akin to that of a clever little monkey. But that's nothing to be ashamed of. It must be nice to have such a simple mind. Can I punch her, boss? Get a hold of yourself, Athena. Humans certainly are absurd. I said you were clever, didn't I? Poor thing. Tell me, with people like you in charge, how can I possibly trust the legal system? So she distrusts not only lawyers and prosecutors, but the whole legal system. What in the world happened to this woman to make her so bitter? Even if somebody important to me was killed, I would never wish to see their killer brought to trial, because I'd much rather kill them myself. You can't be serious. That thing you're wearing around your neck. Oh, this. Around Athena's neck. What, widget? Does she mean widget? Oh, I get it. Well, well. Her Royal Highness has returned at last to her castle. Her Royal what? Is she talking about Athena? By the way, I heard the rumours. Our director is going to be the star witness in court tomorrow, right? Director Cosmos. Yeah, that's right. You poor things. You better be careful. That old man is a big liar and a huge braggart. What? He might seem like a bigwig, but the centre has all kinds of problems. He has lots of skeletons in his closet. But it's your problem, so why should I care? Wait, that's it? No friendly tips? No good luck, guys? Just splendid. I'll leave you to your woes. Come on, hunk of junk. It's sad to me that she doesn't believe in our legal system anymore. She must have had a very bad experience to make her feel that way. Are you alright, Athena? You seem very down. I just can't believe she said all those things. Wow, she's really upset. Has she been trying not to let it show all this time? Well, I guess it's not all that surprising. You hear about fabricated evidence of false indictments on the news all the time. You mean that whole Dark Age of the Law nonsense? I'm so sick of hearing about that. Well, all we can do is believe in what we're doing. Yeah. You're right, boss. I agree. Maybe someone went back to see Mr. Starbuck. Good idea. We should tell him about the bullet in Miss Blackwell's statement. Alright then. Next up, the detention centre. Let's do it. Look at his head. It's funny. Okay. My lawyers are here. It must be bad news. Hey, not necessarily. We found a new witness. A researcher saw the moment of the murder through the lounge window during her escape. Really? So they're going to let me go? Unfortunately, it was dark and she couldn't identify the person. I should have known. My stars never align just right, too. But we got a lead too, Mr. Starbuck. The murderer had a lighter with an Earth emblem on it. A lighter with an Earth emblem. Oh! Did you remember something? Ah, sure did. Just a little bit, though. Anything at all would be a help, so please tell us what you remembered. The lighter. I thought I was unconscious the whole time. But now I remember I woke up for a few brief moments. That's huge. Do you remember seeing anything? A lighter. I saw the flame of a lighter floating in the darkness. Good, good. What else did you see? What was nearby? It was definitely the boarding lounge, so it must have been after Clay carried me there. In the light from the flame, I saw a dark shadow flickering. A dark shadow? That must have been the third party we've been looking for. Thank you, Mr. Starbuck. You've been more help than you know. If we can prove there was this third person at the scene and that they're the real killer, then you'll be cleared of all suspicion. The key will be whether or not we can identify the third person in court tomorrow. At least we have something to go on now, and that's a big plus. I should probably tidy the evidence up a bit before someone mistakes me for a hoarder. Okay. Now that we have a glimmer of hope, I'm suddenly starving. Right, so... okay. Why don't we go back to the office and treat ourselves to a big celebration in advance? For someone who's highly empathetic, you can be surprisingly unsympathetic. Okay.
So you found your strategy for tomorrow's trial, huh? Good for you, Daddy.
Well, it's one step forward anyway. Hopefully it'll give us a fighting chance in court. As long as we can find out who this third person is. Now let's go get something to eat. I'm starving. My vote is for Eldoon's noodles.
Oh, Apollo!
He's back. What are you doing here? I didn't think the clinic was ready to release you yet. My wounds are fine, and I'm done lying around. Apollo, you're supposed to be in bed. Leave the case to us. We'll take it from here. Thanks, but that's not an option. Not for me. Apollo? Why not? Why not? You shouldn't underestimate your injuries, Apollo, and I don't want you overdoing it. I'm fine. I'm not in pain anymore. Besides, they just gave me an IV at the clinic. An IV isn't a cure-all, mummy man. Anyway, just tell me how the case is going. Have you guys made any progress? A suspicious figure is spotted at the scene. We think they must be the real killer. A suspicious figure, huh? Right. I thought you'd be happier than that. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm happy. And I fully intend to see Clay's murderer apprehended. Absolutely nothing will get in the way of that. Clay was your best friend, right, Apollo? That's right. Best friend since junior high. Sounds like me and Junie. So what was Clay like? Well, he was full of compassion and energy, and he had a really loud voice.
If the two of you did voice training together now, I bet you'd break a few windows.
Ha! You know, I bet you're right. Seems like only yesterday Clay was a guy who lived for his dreams. We used to talk about it a lot. He was going to be an astronaut and me a lawyer. We'd talk well into the night, and even then, we'd never grow tired of it. Apollo, about that jacket. Oh, it's Clay's. I knew it. It's a special jacket that was only issued to members of the Hat Project. He was finally able to get one of his own once he was selected for the Hat 2 mission. He always looked so proud wearing it. But just when his dream was finally coming true, I still can't believe it. Damn it! It's not fair! Oh, he is not dealing with this. Apollo, I hope you don't try to carry the burden all alone. I guess we were both unlucky. My own debut was a disaster. I guess you're right on some level. That trial a year and a half ago was not exactly the smoothest of starts. That was a rough time for me, but Clay refused to let me quit. You're fine, he'd say. Don't give up. It was right during his screening exams, too. I couldn't have become a full-fledged lawyer without him. That "you're fine" of his is why I'm still standing here today. You're fine, huh? You're fine and I'm fine were like your catchphrases, weren't they? Ha, something like that. Sure brings back memories. When we were in junior high, Clay's mum passed away in an accident. But he wouldn't show his sadness to anyone. One night, I found him crying all alone in the school courtyard.
Mum! Mum! Get away, Apollo, don't come over here.
Clay, listen to me. I don't have a mother either.
Huh?
I always think everybody else has a mum. Why am I the only one? But you know, when I start to feel that way, I just yell at the top of my lungs. I holler, I'm fine, and then you know what? I start to feel like maybe I really will be fine. Apollo Justice is fine. Okay, Clay, now it's your turn. Okay. Clay Terran is fine. There you go. Now we're both fine. Ha! We're fine. Hee. We're fine. Ha 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 ha. What are you laughing about? See? We're fine. You laugh first. I'm fine. You're fine. We're both fine. Fucking weirdos. Alright. Thanks, Apollo. When you say it out loud, it really starts to feel real. And as long as you don't give up, you can keep on fighting. That's what we believed. As long as you don't give up. Wasn't there someone else who said something similar? If I give in to my fear, I'll never find the truth. As long as I don't give up, I can keep up the fight. Clay called Mr. Starbuck his mentor and looked up to him. I wonder if I can be a good role model for my staff like Mr. Starbuck. Sorry, Mr. Wright, but I'll be taking a leave of absence. What? Wait, what do you mean by a leave? You're really serious? Can you at least give me a reason why? When I put Clay's jacket on, I swore to him that I would catch his killer myself. But that's our goal too. I agree with Athena, we should work together to find the truth. The truth, huh? That's a noble cause. But what if the truth you seek and the truth I seek turn out to be different? I'm not sure I follow. What are you saying, Apollo? I'm going to catch the person responsible for taking my friend's life in my own way. Take good care of Mr. Starbuck for me. Now, I must be going. Goodbye. Oh, my voice is starting to crack a bit. Goodbye? Did he just say goodbye? I sensed a lot of seething anger and hatred coming from him. And also, suspicion. Oh, he's not walking out on us like this. I'm going to talk some sense into him. Hold on, Athena. Apollo can believe what he wants, but I believe he's wrong. Even if we take different paths, the truth we arrive at should be the same. I think the quicker we solve this case, the better it will be for Apollo. Yeah, you're right, boss. Alright, that's enough for one day. Make sure you're ready for tomorrow's trial, okay? And I think that's the end of the investigation? Not quite. If he were here right now, Apollo would say, I'm fine. Everything is fine. I just hope things really do turn out fine tomorrow. To be continued? Yeah. Okay. Okay. That seems like a good place for us to wrap things up, to be honest. Because we've been going for a bit longer than I normally would do. And, like, honestly, my voice is kind of bollocksed. I don't know if you can hear, my voice is starting to crack. So let me just save that. Okay. Let's pull over to here, then. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. We caught up. We caught up on where we needed to be with this case. So, let's just make sure that's off. Right, okay. So, I'm going to go now, guys. I'm going to go and rest up. I don't know if I'm streaming tomorrow. If I am, then it might be the Snail Simulator event for like an hour and a half. There's like a big event on Snail Sim at 8 p.m. BST? Yes, BST. So I might jump on for that. I'm going to see how I feel first. But in the meantime, thank you for the hangs. I'm just going to wrap straight up time without raiding out because I'm really, really tired. So hopefully see you soon. If not, then my schedule's going up onto Twitter tomorrow at some point. Keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, again, thanks for the hangs. I'll see you guys very soon, and take lots of care. Till next time.